Cape's leader, sports radio play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod. Chatham A's baseball, sports radio play-by-play. Let's go A's! Wooden bats through the fog, playing under the lights. The stars of tomorrow shine tonight.
From a cloudy Veterans Field, Chatham hosts Falmouth, and John Schiffner returns to Veterans Field after 25 years as the Anglers field manager for Game 7 of the 2024 season. Alongside Jack Smith, I'm Andrew Selover. Jack, the first year with John Schiffner as an assistant coach for the Commodores under longtime manager Jeff Trundy, and for the first time tonight, he makes the return to Veterans Field after his long stint as the Chatham manager.
I had a chance to talk with both Schiff and Sheets, and it's convenient how those two names go together. That's coming up on the Manager Show. But they've got a combined near 26 years of managerial experience for the A's. One thing is, Schiff's got 25 more years on Sheets.
And he has his number hanging on the front of the press box, one of 4 people to have their number retired here at Veterans Field. You'll hear more of that conversation with Jack and with Sheets and with Coach Schiffner coming up later on the Anglers Extra pregame show. On the baseball side of things, Chatham comes off a loss last night where the Anglers had plenty of chances, but they left double-digit base runners on the path.
Yeah, Chatham has not been able to find a way to hit with runners in scoring position consistently this season. It feels like the games that they do, they win, and the games that they don't, they've lost. And through the first 6 games, they flip-flop back and forth between wins and losses, have not found momentum on the winning side, but also haven't really fallen into a losing streak, so it could be worse.
For Falmouth, it's been a struggle out of the gates, coming in at just 1-5 compared to Chatham's 3-3, and the offense just hasn't been there, hitting .215 as a team. The pitching staff has given up over 5 runs a game. So the Commodores slow out of the gates trying to respond tonight against the Anglers. Should be a good one. Some weather possibly in the forecast, expected right around first pitch here at Veterans Field. But we played through rain for about 5 innings last night when Brewster took down Chatham 7-4. So we'll see if the weather can hold off in time for baseball here at Veterans Field. On the other side of a quick break, we'll have the Manager's Show, plural. That's John Schiffner, assistant coach for the Commodores and longtime Anglers manager, and Chatham's manager, Sheets, joining Jack Smith for the Manager's Show. And later on, we'll have Catch of the Day. Campbell Smithwick makes a return to the program, and you'll hear that coming up in about 10 minutes. And then at the top of the hour, first pitch between Falmouth and Chatham on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC.
Chatham Bars Inn is Cape Cod's premier 4-diamond oceanfront resort. With 217 luxurious rooms, guests have access to numerous amenities, including a private beach, complimentary children's programs, 4 award-winning restaurants, a new world-class spa, an outdoor pool, and tennis courts. Year after year, Chatham Bars Inn is recognized as one of the top resorts in the world. Chatham Bars Inn and Cape Cod Baseball. Summer fun for the whole family.
Welcome back to the Anglers Extra pregame show. I'm Jack Smith, and I'm joined by 2 Chatham managers, John Schiffner, who managed the A's for 25 years, and Sheets in his first season. Sheets, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to start with Schiff. He's got 25 years on you. Schiff, welcome back to Veterans Field. How does it feel to be back here?
Different, but it's been enough time away. Just it's okay, but it is different. This was a wonderful place. I mean, it was my home, for a long time. Right over there, I leaned on that dugout there for a long time.
Sheets, you've got someone here who's done your job for 25 years. What have you learned from him so far?
Well, he was one of the first calls I made when I got the gig, and I look forward to a friendship that we're starting to unearth, that we realize that now we got to start a podcast. Now him and I have to spend time on his back deck. There's a lot of things that are going to come from this, but I always pay homage to the people that laid the groundwork before you, and that's why Schiff was one of my first calls.
The Seach and Shift Show has to come out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, somewhere.
Because that's been called that before.
It's too easy to say.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
What advice do you have for Sheets in his first year as Chatham's
God,
manager?
Just enjoy the ride. And he says that all the time on Thursdays. Enjoy it. This is a special, special place. The athletes are so cool. You turn the TV on. I've turned the TV on for 25 years, and there's a guy that played for me, or there's a guy that I coached against, and it's like so cool. And you see them here where it's so pure. I mean, that's why I stayed as long as I did. I mean, I didn't have to come back when I was an assistant coach. I was here from 78 to 82. Came back in 90, and I didn't have to, but I did because there was that draw, the Cape League and the players, and then I got the opportunity to be the head guy, and it's just fantastic. It's just such a great experience. And some people out there have heard this before. This is one of the 10 best jobs in amateur baseball, and I always told people this is the best job. It's Chatham, and I'll always say that. As much as fun as I'm having with Falmouth right now, it's Chatham.
In a sentence or two, what makes it the best job?
The field is beautiful. The people who run it are fantastic. You're in Chatham, Massachusetts, and this is a great organization. Steve West did a hell of a job, or does a hell of a job. He's got great people behind him. My dear buddy Ed Baird. It's a wonderful, wonderful place, and they've done it, and it just gets better and better each year.
I'm Jack Smith, joined by John Schiffner and Sheets here on the Managers Show today. Two Chatham managers with me. Sheets, what about Schiff do you want to pay homage to?
Well, they laid a lot of groundwork for this place. I don't want to dig too deep, but you talked about his run, through the 70s and the early 80s, and I was born in 81. I don't want to make you feel that old. Is that too soon? Okay, I was born, but this dude wore this jersey before I was born. There's things that he's known about the league, seen about the league, he can offer me as a young coach, and hopefully help me prevent some fall downs, and there's things that he's going to give me that's wisdom that he knows. I'm soaking it all in, going, dude, help me, because I need guidance in this thing. And like we talked about at the dinner, you see a turtle on a fence post, you recognize he didn't get there by himself. So I recognize there's people that have helped put me in this position, but I still have to lean on the people that have been here and wore that jersey that can certainly help me as I move forward.
6 games in, how is the Cape League compared to your expectations?
Man, it's awesome on so many fronts, but you're always growing and changing, and I see things that I want to do differently. Even now, we talked about that in our team meeting today, that we're going to go this way. I know places I have to be better. I don't feel like my communication has been great because I'm sort of letting them kind of feel their way through it. Well, I'm changing that. I'm changing that today, and this is how we're going to do it. We talked about the environment and Shift, recognize, hey, man, just keep it as fun as you can. That's what I told them. I'm going to hang around with people that I want to spend time with, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to enjoy it, and we love to win, but we're going to enjoy our time together because this is about your growth. Sometimes those are uncomfortable conversations. Sometimes those are pump-up conversations. But it's all that ebbing and flowing. And, again, the more you're here, the more you feel. And the more I feel, the more I start to learn that, hey, man, I'm on the right path, or I have to make an adjustment on that.
Shift, 6 games in, what have you seen from the Commodores?
We've got a great group of kids who are really, they bonded very, very nicely, which is, Jeff does such a great job doing that. And we've had some tough games. We swung the bat okay. We're okay. We're 1-5, 1-6, 1-6, 1-5.
1-5.
Oh, good. Okay. And I feel as though it's a good 1-5. That doesn't sound correct, but the bats, they're improving. We got some young coaches who are just working their butts off, and I have seen improvement from day 1 to now day 7. So it's great. It's why I came back. I didn't want to have to deal with all this, the NIL and the portal and all that stuff. That just, oh my God, it just boggles my mind. We could have a whole show on that. But what I'm doing is I'm coaching and I'm teaching and I'm telling stories. The kids love my stories because I'm an old guy. They want to hear these stories about so forth. But it's been wonderful. I'm really glad to get back in the field. I did not know how much I missed it.
Can't wait to hear those stories someday.
Oh boy, I got a million of them. I'm going to write a book someday.
Do you have anything else to say to the fans of Chatham?
Oh, I miss you guys. Miss you guys a whole lot. It was a wonderful 25 years as a skipper, and it is home for me. I mean, I grew up in Jersey and I was in Connecticut for a long time, but Chatham, Mass, I will call my home. The people who grew up here will say, no, you're a Wash-ashore Schiffner, but that's okay. I don't care. They want to call me a Wash-ashore, that's fine. But no, it was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Sheets, quickly before we wrap it up here on the Manager Show, what will it take to beat him here today?
Well, I can't really, no matter what the score is, his name's on the wall. So he wins no matter what, and I'm okay with that. It's really, again, like we talk, man, it's not about that. It's the process of letting these two teams figure it out on the field. We're all in support of their growth and them understanding who they are and uncovering some things about themselves. I look forward to the rivalry. But more than that, man, the friendship's what matters. You hear me say this a lot, brother. It's a people battle out here in life, and I want to surround myself with really great people, and that's why that dude's in my corner.
That'll do it for us here on the Manager's Show, joined by John Schiffner and Sheets. 26 combined years of Chatham coaching experience, and that'll wrap it for us here on the Manager's Show. Let's send it back to Andrew Selover as the rest of the Anglers Extra pregame show continues.
All right, Jack, we might have to get more content out of that Schiff and Sheets podcast. Has to be coming soon based on that Manager's Show. A thrill to hear from both Sheets and John Schiffner, who is back in the visitors' dugout tonight at Veterans Field, an assistant for the Falmouth Commodores. We've got more Anglers Extra pregame show coming up, and on the other side, Catch of the Day with Campbell Smithwick out of Ole Miss. Stick with us from Veterans Field.
Anglers Extra. Chatham on TRC. Cape Cod.
Sweet Tomatoes Pizza, located right around the corner from Veterans Field at 790 Main Street in Chatham. Pick up a pie on your way to the game or grab a calzone before first pitch. The dough for their specialty pizza is rolled right before your eyes. Eat in or take out, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and sometimes later. Call 508-348-0200. See their full menu online at sweettomatoescapecod.com. Sweet Tomatoes, a Chatham pregame tradition.
Welcome back on the Anglers Extra pregame show. I'm Andrew Selover, and for the second time in 3 days, Campbell Smithwick is our Catch of the Day. Campbell, you requested this one. You like the cameras?
Yeah, we're back. I played well last time we had it, so we'll keep doing it. We'll keep playing well, keep winning.
You played pretty well last night, 2 RBI singles. What did you see at the plate?
Yeah, I think I just I guessed right early in the first 2 at-bats, and it paid off for me. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does, but last night just sitting on the right pitch and got the right pitch to hit and didn't miss.
How much of hitting is a guessing game?
Not much. They don't advise it, but sometimes I just get little ticks from the pitcher from watching him. Last night he went fastball and then changeup after a swing and miss, and then I fouled a fastball off, and I was like, he's got to come with the changeup, and he did. So they don't advise it, but because it doesn't always work, but sometimes it does.
You have a nickname, I've heard. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do. Soup.
Where's that come from?
Campbell's Soup. I don't really know how I got it. I don't know the true story, but
there's got to be a backstory.
I don't know. It's just I've always had it. So
Are you a big soup guy?
I mean, I like soup a little bit. Not like a crazy soup guy though.
Have you tried the lobster bisque in Chatham?
I have had plenty of lobster bisque in Chatham with my girlfriend and her family. We crushed the lobster bisque.
All right, living up to his nickname here in Chatham, Soup, here on Catch of the Day. Second time in 3 days for Campbell Smithwick. Let's talk a little bit about your recruitment journey to Ole Miss. You started off living in South Carolina, then moved to Oxford. When did you know you wanted to play at Ole Miss?
So I didn't really have like a dream school. There was nowhere I really was dying to play, and so I just knew I wanted to play somewhere in the SEC. Thankfully, Coach Laff and Clem and Coach B believed in me and gave me the opportunity. And I thought about it for a long time, prayed about it, and I knew it was the right move for me.
What's your favorite part about the environment at Ole Miss?
That it is the best environment, and that there's so many fans, and that they all care and they all know your name, they all love you, and it's just such a welcoming place to anyone that comes.
What's the craziest baseball moment you've seen in Oxford?
Jackson Ross hit a walk-off against Mississippi State at what felt like 2 in the morning, and it was still so electric, and there were still so many people there, and that's a moment I'll never forget.
Are you a big Ole Miss football fan?
I am a big Ole Miss football fan, yeah. I try to go I definitely go to every home game. I try to go to every away game, too.
All right, what's the biggest game this year for Ole Miss coming up this fall in football?
We'll have Georgia at home, and that will be huge. That will be huge.
Well, you can find Campbell Smithwick at that game. You got a record prediction for the Rebels this year?
11-1 would be awesome. I would love to get a playoff game.
All right, well, we'll see about that. Expanded playoff should help the Rebels this year. That'll do it for the second appearance of the summer.
That was a diss.
Oh, come on.
That felt like a diss.
Come on. That'll do it for the second appearance. Campbell's already booked his third appearance on Catch of the Day, so that'll come up soon. But we'll send it back to Jack Smith for the rest of the Anglers Extra pregame show.
Well, it's pretty clear that Campbell Smithwick appreciates the cameras. He likes the microphone, and I think I agree with his take on Ole Miss football. Jackson Dart versus Carson Beck, Georgia versus Ole Miss should be a good game, but it's not football season quite yet. It is baseball season, and we're almost ready, nearing first pitch here in Chatham. Veterans Field is filling up. We've got the lineups, the pitching matchup, and first pitch coming up on the other side of this break as Falmouth takes on Chatham.
Anglers Extra. Chatham on TRC. Cape Cod.
Year after year, Cape Cod League Baseball and Chatham Bars Inn have been synonymous with summer on Cape Cod. The inn has offered clam bakes, beachside barbecues, and oceanfront dining since 1914. The new Beach House restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Visit Chatham Bars Inn at www.chathambarsin.com. Chatham Bars Inn and Cape Cod Baseball. Summer fun for the whole family.
Chatham A's Baseball is on the air right now.
Swings and hits one to left center field. Back goes McFadden. He will not get there. It's a home run. A grand slam for Todd Frazier.
Chugging into second base with an RBI double is Evan Longoria. He is 4 for 4.
Hit on the ground, left side. Will it get through? Off Crawford and into center field. Federovic scores and Chatham wins it in 11. The game-winning hit from Seager. It's a 5-4 Chatham winner.
And now, with your play-by-play, Andrew Selover and Jack Smith.
With his wife Karen, the filling station will be feeding our team after tonight's game.
A cloudy and foggy Veterans Field readies for Game 7 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season as Chatham and Falmouth square off for the first time this summer. Alongside Jack Smith, I'm Andrew Selover. Let's get you to the starting lineups presented by the Chatham Clothing Bar. First for the visiting Commodores at 1-5, Jackson Willits, the shortstop out of Oklahoma, leads things off. In the 2-hole from Louisville, the catcher Zion Rose. Luke Gaffney bats third and plays first base out of Purdue. In the cleanup spot from Oklahoma State, Donovan LaSalle out in right field. In left field from Georgia Tech, Riley Stanford bats fifth. Dylan Carey in the 6-hole, the third baseman from Nebraska. Out of Virginia Tech, the second baseman Christian Martin bats seventh. Batting eighth from TCU, the designated hitter Carson Bowen. And rounding out the starting 9 for the Falmouth Commodores, the center fielder from Texas A&M is Tab Tracy. Again, Willits, Rose, Gaffney, LaSalle, Stanford, Carey, Martin, Bowen, and Tracy, the starting 9 for the Commodores. We'll get you the starting lineups for the Anglers after the national anthem. And for that national anthem, we send things over to the paragon of pronunciations, Peter Burns, your public address announcer.
Please rise for tonight's national anthem. Singing tonight's national anthem is an inspiration to all of us. Sophia Schuster, born with paralyzed vocal cords, doctors thought Sophia would not live, let alone sing. She started singing at 3 and at 14 won Teen Star and appeared on American Idol at age 15. A rising major, an English major, and a junior at Columbia. With tonight's national anthem, let's welcome Sophia Schuster.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the
The national anthem at Veterans Field complete ahead of Falmouth and Chatham on a cloudy day and rain coming, but hopefully enough time for baseball here in Chatham, Massachusetts. A quick reminder of the Falmouth Commodores starting lineup. It goes Jackson Willits, Zion Rose, Luke Gaffney, Donovan LaSalle, Jason Jones, Dylan Carey, Christian Martin, Carson Bowen, and Tab Tracy. The starting lineup for the Anglers, leading off and playing center field from USC, Austin Over. Jaden Davis out of Vanderbilt bats second and plays second base on his 20th birthday. Ike Irish in the 3-hole catches out of Auburn. Batting cleanup from Austin P., the left fielder, John Beck. Batting fifth for Chatham, Iva Arquette plays third base out of the University of Washington. From Pittsburgh, Luke Cantwell bats sixth and plays first base. The shortstop, Kyle Lodi, slots into the 7-hole out of Augusta, transferring to Georgia Tech. Landon Stripling, another transfer headed from Texas Tech to Florida, is the DH batting eighth. And Will Gasparino from Texas bats ninth and plays right field. Again for Chatham, Over, Davis, Irish, Bay, Arquette, Cantwell, Lodis, Stripling, and Gasparino. And the Anglers take to the field wearing their white pinstripe jerseys with the red A for the Anglers on the front, blue numbers on the back, and the blue caps. For Falmouth tonight, it's gray pants with black tops, reading Falmouth in crimson across the front with numbers on the front and the back, and the black hats for the Commodore with the red F. The pitching matchup tonight, presented by the Red Nun Bar and Grill. For the Anglers, Drake George gets the ball his first start, second appearance for Chatham out of Lewis Clark State College, an NAIA product that starts tonight for the Anglers, the righty, and a junior at 6'1", 175. Out of UNC Asheville, right-hander Colby Guy gets the ball in his second appearance and second start tonight for Falmouth. He lost his prior start earlier this summer. The umpires tonight, presented by Chatham Paint and Hardware. Joe Carrico calls balls and strikes. Jeff Merzell at first, and Mike Rabideau down the line at third base. Last night, Jack Chatham's pitching not its best outing. Evan Kress got the start. He gave up 5 runs, and the A's were really behind the 8 ball the whole way through, trying to get off to a little bit better start tonight.
Yeah, they walked 8 yesterday, and it's not really sure what to make of the pitching staff so far when it comes to commanding the zone. Because, Andrew, there are games that we've seen, like the one against Bourne, where Chatham pitching struck out 16 and walked 0. But then there's days like yesterday where they struck out 7 and walked 8. Just not really sure what to make of this group as it's still coming together.
For Falmouth last night, the Commodores went down 6-2 to Bourne. Despite out-hitting the Braves, Falmouth surrendered 5 fielding errors that came back to bite them. Jackson Willits, the shortstop out of Oklahoma, leads things off. The switch hitter, the only switch hitter in tonight's contest, along with 2 lefties, presents 3 left-handed bats against the righty starter Drake George. At 6'1", 175, George ready, he rears back, he fires, and it's swung on and missed. The first pitch at 7:03 tonight at Veterans Field. It is 66 degrees and cloudy, a light fog in the air as well. 0-1. Fastball outside, 1-1. That one up to 97 on the radar gun for George. George works quickly. His 1-1 is popped out of play, 1-2 the count. First outing this summer for George, the righty out of Lewis Clark State College in Lewiston, Idaho. Came in the 9th inning against YD here at home. Chatham lost that game 2-1, but George tossed a scoreless frame. His 1-2 bounces in. 2-2 the count. 2 strikeouts in that inning for George, along with 1 hit allowed. His 2-2 is hit high in the air, foul territory, third base side. Back from third, Arquette gives way to the shortstop, Lodis, who lunges to make the play. A good 50 feet into the outfield grass down the left field line, and Kyle Lodis from shortstop out to make the play for Chatham for the first out to retire Jackson Willits. Brings us to the defensive alignment for the A's, presented by Short and Sweet Ice Cream. In the outfield, left to right, John Bay, Austin Overn, and Will Gasparino. Third to first on the infield, Iva Arquette and Kyle Lodise. Jaden Davis at second, Luke Cantwell at first. First pitch is sliced foul down the first base line by the right-handed hitter Zion Rose. The catcher tonight, battery mate of George, is Ike Irish. 0-1 from George. Fastball dribbled foul down the third base line. Arquette over to the left of the bag, picks it up, maybe 5 feet foul, tosses it back to George, who's quickly ahead 0-2. A heavy dose of fastball to start for the righty. Here's the pitch. Taken strike, 3 called. A parade of barks rained down for Drake George. He tallies his first strikeout. Zion Rose is the victim. There's 2 up, 2 down for Luke Gaffney.
The fastball is going to work as well as it has so far here in the first inning. He might not need to switch it up.
Can really run it up there. You hear NAIA, you might not think 97 miles per hour. That's what George has. First pitch, breaking ball, slider in there, strike 1 to Luke Gaffney.
How often do we see guys from the D2, D3, NAIA levels come to the Cape and succeed, though?
A big step up in level, 0-1. That one's hammered foul the other way. It slices toward the playground, out to the right of right field at Veterans Field, 0-2. 10 pitches in, Drake George standing on the mound, staring in, searching for a 1-2-3 inning. His 0-2 is bounced out in front of home plate, and it just rolls foul down the third base line. Drake George actually a connection to Sheets, Chatham's first-year manager. Knows him from NAIA ball. Sheets and Georgia Gwinnett, perennial powers, along with Lewis State College. 0-2. Check swing. He went around. 2 strikeouts and a 1-2-3 inning for Drake George in his first start on the Cape. Falmouth goes for no runs on no hits, no errors in the field, no men left on base. Willits popped out down the left field line to Kyle Lodise, and then a strike 3 looking of Zion Rose, strike 3 swinging of Luke Gaffney. That's how George tosses a scoreless top of the first inning. Colby Guy on the mound out of UNC Asheville from Falmouth when we return. Falmouth 0 and Chatham coming up in the bottom of the first on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's, Chatham on TRC.
Falmouth 0, Chatham coming to the plate for the first time tonight against the Commodores and Colby Guy. Austin Overn leads things off for the Anglers, batting from the left side. Righty starter delivers. First pitch lined deep and foul down the left field line. That one hit a good 300 feet off the bat, but well foul. Again, the lineup for Chatham: Overn, Davis, Irish, Bay, Arquette, Cantwell, Lodise, Stripling, Gasparino. Guy out of the windup, 0-1. Rises high, 1-1. Tough night last night for Austin O'Verne, the USC center fielder. Got the start out in center. 1-1 pitch. Again high, tips off the mid of the catcher, Bowen, all the way to the backstop, 2-1. O'Verne struck out 3 times, all 3 swinging, and then Will Gasparino came in as his defensive replacement in the 5th inning. 2-1. Low, 3-1. Gasparino proceeded to strike out twice, so the one spot, the leadoff spot for Chatham last night, was 0 for 5 with 5 swinging strikeouts. Gasparino trying to change that tonight. He awaits the 3-1 and lines it back foul. Command was the biggest issue for Guy, who got the loss in his first start this summer. Didn't give up a hit in 3 innings, but he gave up 2 runs on 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Full count pitch. That one's spoiled down the third base side, tailing out of play, and that one lands to the left side of the netting, about 10 feet out of the field of play. Dylan Carey at third gave it a look, but he ran out of real estate. Not a ton of fans tonight at Veterans Field. The stands behind home plate not quite full. No sun today in Chatham. 3-2 pitch. Tipped foul at the plate. First 3 home games have been stellar crowds here at Veterans Field. Tonight, probably the fewest fans in attendance of the first 4. But you can understand why. 65 degrees, a bit nippy. 3-2. That one is golfed into shallow center field. Couple steps back, now in for Tab Tracy. He finds it through the fog and makes the play.
Now batting for Chatham, the second baseman from Vanderbilt. Number
1 up,
30,
1 down for Colby Guy.
Davis.
A reminder of the defensive alignment for Falmouth, presented by Short and Sweet Ice Cream. In the infield, third to first, Dylan Carey, Jackson Willits, Christian Martin, and Luke Gaffney. The catcher is Carson Bowen. First pitch to Jaden Davis is lined back foul, 0-1. Left to right in the outfield, Jason Jones, Tab Tracy, Donovan LaSalle. To Davis. That one's lined right back up the middle, base hit. Good way to start the 20th birthday for Jaden Davis. He strikes the second pitch he sees right back where it came from for a 1-out single.
Andrew, I asked Jaden Davis if he did anything fun for his birthday. He said, not yet. And I joked with him and said, well, a couple of hits would be nice. And he said, that's what I do. He did.
He's got 1 on the night. We'll see how high the total lies at the end of the birthday. Ike Irish digs in. First pitch. The lefty cranks it foul. Out of play. 0-1. Davis got the night off last night. Back in at his usual position, second base. He leads off first, held on there by Gaffney. The pitch, roped, past the diving second baseman Martin into right field. Davis slides into second before the throw could come in. He had to hold up on the line drive. Chatham has 2 of its first 3 base runners on against Colby Guy.
And it feels like it's two of the couple most important bats in this Chatham lineup. Davis and Irish come in with high pedigree, have struggled a little bit so far out of the gate, but if Chatham can get those 2 bats going, the offense takes a big step up.
Davis hitting just 158, Irish 174 coming into the night. Brings up John Bay in the cleanup spot. First pitch, taken at the knees, inside corner, strike 1 at 94 miles per hour. Second baseman Martin playing a couple steps closer to second base, helping hold on Davis there. Irish is let free over at first base with a 6-stride lead. 0-1. Bounced foul off the left foot. Bay quickly behind 0-2 on 2 fastballs. Outfield plays the right-handed hitter slightly to pull. Center fielder Tracy just to the left of true center field. Relatively deep. Guy out of the stretch, looks back to second, comes home, and he bounces one in. Good stop back behind the dish by Bowen. Only skipped away about 2 feet, so both runners stay put for Chatham. Neither team tonight has been quite aggressive on the base paths. 2 fewest stolen base totals of the Cape League. 3 for the Anglers, 2 for the Commodores this summer. 1-2 to Bay. Just missed inside and low. Change up at 85, 2-2. Bay last night 1 for 4 with a bunt single. Don't see that a whole lot out of your cleanup hitter. The 2-2. Bay takes inside. 3-2 the count. Throw back to the pitcher, airmails Guy. Second baseman Christian Martin has to back it up. Draws a little chatter out of the Chatham dugout. For the first inning, the Anglers bullpen guys stay in the dugout, so it's a little extra loud down there. Riled up for a 3-2 pitch. Inside, ball 4. Bases loaded with Anglers. 1 out in the bottom of the first.
Now batting for Chatham, the third baseman from the University of Washington.
We
number
mentioned
13,
the walks, a
Arquette.
problem for Colby Guy in his first start this summer. That's his first free pass allowed. Didn't give up a hit in the first 3 innings he pitched, but already 2 hits in the bottom of the first from Chatham tonight.
Sheets told me a couple days ago, not every pitch or at bat is going to have a pitch to get a hit on.
First pitch to Iva Arquette is in there for a called strike. Fastball on the inside corner.
He said guys are going up there looking for a pitch to hit, but you're not always going to get one, so you have to be willing to take your walks.
Campbell Smithwick said his 2 hits last night came from guessing right. 0-1. Flicked back to the screen, 0-2.
This is the spot where Chatham needs to come through, though. Hitting with runners in scoring position hasn't come easy. Just 10 for 52 on the season. That's good for a 192 batting average.
A's left runners on base in 8 of 9 frames yesterday. 0-2 to Arquette. On the inside corner, strike 3 looking. A slider that started off on the body of the right-handed hitter and broke back to the plate. Arquette frozen. 2 outs, bases still loaded for Luke Cantwell. Scoreless in the bottom of the first between Chatham and Falmouth. Cantwell digs in from the left side against the righty Guy. First pitch. Bounces in, backhand glove stop by Bowen. Bounced off his mitt out in front of home plate.
Cantwell's not going to help Guy out in this situation. When I joked with him about how he likes to take walks, he said, I just swing at strikes. And that's what he'll be looking for here with the bases loaded.
Cantwell bounces up and down in his stance. Waves the bat, readies the pitch. Taken, strike call. Fastball on the outside corner. Another high throw back to the pitcher from Bowen. That time, Guy jumped at the base of the mound all the way up to get it. One. Slider in there, strike 2. Cantwell down in the count, 1-2. Bases loaded with Anglers. No score, bottom of the first, and 2 outs. A's trying to strike first. Colby Guy trying to toss a scoreless inning. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Back comes flying out of the hands of Cantwell. And Colby Guy leaves them loaded to keep us scoreless through 1 at Veterans Field. Anglers go for no runs on 2 hits, no errors from Falmouth, and 3 men left on base. At the end of 1 at Veterans Field, Falmouth 0, Chatham 0. Top of the second next as Drake George returns to the mound on Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
What I want, you got, and it might be hard. Hi, this is Kyson Witherspoon from Oklahoma. You're listening to the Chatham A's Baseball with Andrew Selover and Jack Smith on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Top of the second here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back with Jack Smith. I'm Andrew Selover. Thanks for joining us for Game 7 of the Cape League season. Chatham trying to stay above 500. Comes into the night at 3-3. Anglers have not yet dipped below 500 on the summer. Scoreless headed to the top of the second inning. Chatham and Falmouth. Donovan LaSalle, the cleanup hitter out of Oklahoma State, leads things off for the Commodores. Drake George comes home. Fastball at the top of the zone, strike one. LaSalle stands at 6'2", 205, and awaits the 0-1, checks his swing. It's in there for strike two anyway. LaSalle so far out of Oklahoma State hitting just 176. The 0-2 to him. Swing and a miss. Way out in front of the slider at 82. 3-pitch strikeout. And 3 straight strikeouts for Drake George.
The left fielder from the University of Arkansas, number 5, Jason Jones.
Brings up Jason Jones in the 4-hole. Sophomore from Arkansas. It was 3 of his first 10 on the Cape. Long pause from George. Now he pitches. First look at the curveball, and that one stayed up. Ball 1. Jones wearing the Arkansas red helmet. His team helmet at the plate as he bounces the 1-0 foul.
We saw Ryder Helfrich from Brewster. He was wearing Arkansas catcher's gear yesterday.
So you'll see that with some teams on the Cape. Chatham guys all have the Chatham blue helmets and the blue catcher's gear, but some teams have their guys wearing their college helmets. Feels almost like an all-star game. 1-1, pumps the mitt at 93, strike 2. George out of the windup. Comes home, 2-strike pitch. High with a fastball. Jones laid off it. 2-2 the count. This season for Drake George with Lewis Clark State College, a 4.91 ERA. His 2-2 bounces in there. 3-2 the count. 6-2 record in 13 starts. 66 innings pitched for the junior. Trying to prove his worth on the Cape now. 3-2. Lined the other way, past the first baseman Cantwell into right field. Big round around first. Jones stays put. A 1-out single. First base runner of the night for Falmouth.
The third baseman from the University of Nebraska, number 28.
Rolled a hit.
Dylan Carey.
One that Cantwell probably thinks he could have come away with. It was hit hard, but right at him. Just couldn't get the glove on it. 1 on, 1 out. Brings up Dylan Carey out of Nebraska. Right-handed hitter against the righty George. First offering. Fastball spiced foul. Good number of scouts in attendance tonight. Probably double digits back behind the plate. Likely getting their first chance to see Drake George pitch. He picks off to first. Close play, but not in time.
You're telling me normal baseball fans don't come to games with radar guns?
I was telling you that I don't think a lot of people are going up to Lewiston, Idaho to watch Drake George pitch. No offense to Lewis Clark State College. It's a great program. 0-1, bounced over to short. Lodis waits on it, throws to second for 1. Flip on to first, not in time. Chatham gets the lead runner, but that one hit a little into the hole, so Lodis had to drift to his right. Momentum ranging away from second base, and that's where the A's got their only out. Jones retired on the base paths. Carey reaches on a fielder's choice. Brings up Christian Martin with 2 outs.
You ever been to Idaho?
I have. I believe I have. For like an hour for lunch. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1.
That counts. If you stop and have a meal or you do something like a museum, that counts. If you're just touching down off of a flight, I don't think you can say that
if you're in the airport, I don't think you get to cross it off the list.
Or if you just stop for gas, does not count.
Fair. I guess driving through the state's better than flying in. 1-0. On the outside corner, strike 1.
I think that counts as I've driven through or been in the state, but not that I've been to the state.
Yeah, I believe I was in Wyoming, and I want to say we went to Idaho for lunch, but a long time ago. 1-1 to Martin. In the dirt. Change up at 84, 2-1.
Was it a conscious decision? Let's go get food in Idaho so we can check
no, we
one
didn't
off the
just
list.
stumble it across. I don't think it was just to check it off the list. I think there was somewhere we actually wanted to go. But that's, I mean, probably 10 years ago. Pickoff throw to first is way late. What's the top state on your bucket list?
That's a really good question. I knocked off Texas this year, which was a first.
Okay, another pickoff throw. Again, late.
I think it'd be cool to go to Montana. It's beautiful. There's not a lot of people there, so feel a little bit isolated.
2-1 pitch, upstairs, 3-1.
I will say I've been to Arizona, but I've never made it to the Grand Canyon, which I feel like is next on the bucket list.
Okay.
I could drive there if I really wanted to.
Yeah, you're close enough in California. I've actually been. Great spot. It's big. 3-1. Lined into left field. Right at bay, and he has it head high for the third out of the inning. Drake George works around a one-out base hit. He tosses another 0 up on the scoreboard as Falmouth goes for no runs, 1 hit, no errors in the field, 1 man left on, and we are halfway through 2. No score, Chatham and Falmouth at Veterans Field. A's try and strike first with the bottom of the order. When we return, you're listening to Chatham A's Baseball, only on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win. Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins.
Bottom of the second inning at Veterans Field. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Anglers. That starts with Kyle Lodis after the A's left him loaded in the first. Trying to get to Colby Guy and take the lead for the first time tonight. Scoreless, 0-0. Right on right, first pitch. Chases Lodis off the plate, 1-0. Kyle Lodis struck for one of Chatham's 4 runs last night in a 7-4 loss to Brewster. 1-0, taken at the bottom of the zone. Strike called, 1-1. Ball dropped out of the mitt of the catcher, Zion Rose. Don't usually get that call, but he did. 1-1 the count. Pitch. In there on the inside corner, 1-2. Lodis, the right-handed hitter, drove it deep to left field, just to the right of the scoreboard. Over the 357 sign, way gone. He awaits the 1-2. And Kyle takes it in the dirt, 2-2 the count. I was talking to him during batting practice. He was disappointed that the TrackMan numbers did not show up on his home run. He wanted to know how hard he hit it and how far. 2-2. Fisted foul at the plate.
I hope you told him that we had the unofficial number and it was 505 feet.
I did not do that. I think he wanted to compare it to the other 2 home runs from Brewster of the night. Couldn't do that. 2-2. Bounce to the left side, 2 hops to third, fielded by Carey. He throws the long way to the first, and it's dug out in time to retire Lodis. Tough in-between hop for Dylan Carey. Decided last minute to retreat on it, backs up, fields it at his hip, and then had to get it all the way across the diamond, and he skipped it in there with a scoop from Gaffney for the first out.
Excellent play on both sides. Carey had to give a lot of ground, which meant his throw was a little short, but Gaffney, a sure pick.
Brings up Landon Stripling, who spits on the first pitch outside. 1-0 the count.
Maybe Lodis was comparing it to the other 2 Chatham home runs, which came from much bigger right-handed bats.
Left-handed hitting Stripling takes upstairs. 2-0 the count.
Gasparino's got one of them. He's 6'6", 210. John Bay is 6'1", 215.
2-0. Up and away. 3-0.
Lodis just 180 pounds. He's a little bit smaller in stature, but he hit it just about as far as those guys.
Oh, yeah. 20 feet over the fence, sailing into the trees. 3-0. Ball 4. Outside, a 4-pitch walk to Landon Stripling.
Now batting for the Anglers, the right fielder from the University of Texas.
1 out walk.
8,
brings up Will Gasparino.
If he got the number back and it was further than those guys, he can say, well, you've got 30 pounds on me, but I still hit it further.
Something tells me that number is lost deep in the archives. Make it up. First pitch to Gasparino, up and in. 1-0 the count.
You had the opportunity to do so and fuel his ego.
Yeah, I like to keep him humble, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, it barely squeaked over.
1-0. That high, too. 2-0. 6 straight balls out of the hand of Colby Guy, who all of a sudden has lost the path.
As a proud sponsor, the Cape Cod Baseball
And that
League,
draws
State
a mound
Lottery,
visit.
Celebrating the games we love playing, from the baseball diamond to the many lottery games that support all 351
6
cities
straight
and towns
balls
across the state.
from
The
Colby
Mass
Guy, who
Lottery.
puts his
Welcome
glove
to the
onto the
state of
ground,
winning.
and Mike Landry, the pitching coach, comes out to visit.
Cape Cod Baseball League.
Full
Visit your local
infield
99
converges
and
atop
try
the
their
hill.
Famous colossal lobster rolls. Piled high on grilled brioche and served hot
Hasn't
butter,
been the most
with just the right
conventional
amount of
scoreless
mayo and celery
1
with
1/3
fries and coleslaw.
from
It's
Colby
down
Guy.
to the nines. Welcome back
Giving
to
up
the
2
Anglers.
hits and 2 walks, left them loaded in the first. Already up to 37 pitches, 4 outs into the ballgame.
Steve Saradnik, who played on 67, 66,
Home plate umpire Joe
64,
Carrico
and Peter
makes the
Selznick
slow
from
walk.
1974 team.
Just as he reaches the mound,
Here he is.
Mike Landry decides he is done. He walks back to the dugout, third base side.
Steve Saradnik.
Couple last words from Zion Rose, the catcher. Now we're ready to get the bottom of the second back underway. Kyle Lodis retired on a ground out to third, and Landon Stripling walked. It's a 2-0 count to the right-handed hitter Will Gasparino out of Texas. Guy ready, the pitch. That one's flicked foul at the plate, 2-1.
There's 2 different trains of thoughts after a mound visit if a guy's struggling with his command. You either think you're going to get a fastball for a strike, so you want to swing, or you take to make him throw a strike and make sure that he can actually get in the zone.
Gasparino swung at it, now is 2-1. That caught a piece of the batter. Maybe just a little bit of the pinstripe jersey, as Gasparino at 6'6" jumped out of the way of it, but not in time. And he takes his base. Last night, 6 batters were hit between the 2 squads. 3 anglers. Landon Stripling, who sits at second, was hit twice by a pitch. The A's easily into double digits this summer in hit by pitches. That's the 12th. First pitch inside. Austin Overn takes for ball 1. Command has been the concern here in the second inning for Colby Guy. He works out of the stretch. The righty comes home. And it's cranked deep the other way to left. Long run back for Jason Jones. He watches it drift out of the park. Oppo Taco. Austin Over. 3-0 Chatham. Bottom of the second.
By Monomoy Real Estate and Construction and Pretty Picky Properties, Select Vacation Rentals. Their office is located on Depot Road, just beyond the center field fence. The Monomoy and Pretty
Four-man hug at the plate for Austin Overn, who puts 3 on the board for the Anglers.
Now batting for the Anglers,
as he just drove it over the head of the left fielder Jason Jones, who was playing in. He had a long run, and at the end of the day, he just watched it carry on out of here. First pitch to Jaden Davis. Inside.
Overn was frustrated with the way his day went yesterday, and he joked with me before the game, I'll be doing better if I could pick up a couple hits. I think a home run will satisfy him.
Ball in dirt, 2-0 to Davis. I'd say so. I'd say a home run counts for a couple hits. You'd rather a big blast than 2 singles.
Absolutely, especially when you knock in 2 of your teammates.
2-0 to Davis. Swing and a miss. 2-1 the count.
And that was a huge swing for the A's, who left another 3 on in the first inning after leaving double digits on yesterday.
And that pitch is lined the other way. Splicing towards the foul line. Over is LaSalle. He's under it. He makes the play. And that's the second out of the second inning.
The catcher from Auburn, number 4.
3 home runs in yesterday's contest. 2 of them for Brewster. Both were 2-run homers. Chatham's only big blast from Kyle Lodise was a solo shot. So to not only have the first home run of the game, but to bring in 3 with it. That's big. First pitch strike taken at the knees by Ike Irish. Chatham 3, Falmouth 0. 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. 0-1. Line the other way, base hit. It drops down in front of Jason Jones in left field. And Irish has a 2-out base knock. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles in just the first 2 innings.
Number 10.
These lefties for Chatham, both Overn and Irish, going the opposite way, which is something that they struggled to do early in the year. Sheets told me backside fly is really what they want to instill, and it is picked up in this inning.
We'll see if John Bay, the right-handed hitter, tries to go the other way against the righty pitcher Colby Guy. First offering, bounced foul third base side. 0-1.
And the way it works is on an outside fastball. If it's coming in and you let it come in deeper, you get the bat underneath it just a bit. You get the backspin on the ball. That helps the line drives get over the second baseman's head and the ball carry further and potentially out of the park.
0-1. Missed inside, and it pops out of the mitt of Rose. That allows Irish to take second base standing. Another runner in scoring position. 1-1 the count at the plate for Bay.
Conversely, if you swing too early on an outside fastball, Andrew, you get the top spin. That's what gets you to roll it over. If you're righty, that's to the shortstop or third baseman. Lefties is to the right side.
Austin Overn, a perfect example. 1-1 pitch. That one's lifted into shallow center. It drops down in front of Tracy. Wave around third for Irish. The throw to the plate is on the money. Tag applied in time. Tab Tracy guns out Ike Irish with a perfect throw from center field. And that keeps Chatham away from a 4 spot in the second inning. Not before Austin Overn sends one the other way over the left field fence. A 3-run homer for Chatham's leadoff batter, and the Anglers go for 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors in the field for Falmouth, and 1 man left on base. We're through 2 at Veterans Field. Chatham in front of Falmouth, 3-0. Stay with us, only on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air.
South of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain, they hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places.
The designated hitter from TCU, number 14,
Drake
Carson
George
Bowen.
pitching with a lead for the first time tonight as we head to the top of the third inning. He faces 8, 9, and 1 in the Falmouth lineup. George out of the windup to face Carson Bowen out of TCU. First offering is a fastball grounded on 2 hops to Lodis at short. He guns it to first on target. 1 pitch, 1 out in the top of 3.
The center fielder from Texas A&M, number 11, Tab
You can hear the
Tracy.
wind blowing through Veterans Field. Really gray, cloudy day. Hard to tell if any fog is in the near future here at Veterans Field, but absolutely no sun at all this afternoon in Chatham, Massachusetts. First pitch to Tab Tracy is outside, ball 1. Earlier this afternoon, the Anglers celebrated their annual Chatham Organization Luncheon at the Chatham Bars Inn. 1-0. Fastball in there. Strike 1 call. Whole team, along with all the host families, volunteers, interns, all gathered for the team lunch. 1-1 pitch. Curveball outside. 2-1. Sheets, along with President Steve West and GM Mike Galen, spoke to everybody. Great afternoon for the players to meet everybody in the organization as the 2-1 is cranked out of play. 2-2.
And really good food.
That's what we were there for.
Food always tastes better when it's free. Thank you to the Chatham Bars Inn.
Shout out, big sponsors. Waiting on their first call to the bullpen tonight to hear their names called. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Might not be one for a while for the Anglers. Drake George is mowing them down. Sets down 8 of the first 9 he faces. First time through the lineup with 4 strikeouts. Flip the lineup over. Jackson Willits back in, the switch hitter from the left side against the righty George. First pitch. Fastball. In there. Strike 1. Willits popped up down the left field line, foul territory, and Kyle Lodis, the shortstop, made the play to start the game. 0-1. That one stays high. 1-1. George out of Lewis Clark State College, not to be confused with Lewis and Clark College, as the 1-1's outside. 2-1 the count. Lewis Clark State College, an NAIA school in Lewiston, Idaho, where Jack and I might have to visit. Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon. 2-1 pitch. Grounded up the middle, and it squeaks into center field past the shortstop Lodis. A 2-out base knock for Jackson Willits. Brings up the 2-hole hitter Zion Rose. Falmouth still trailing Chatham 3-0 here in the top of the third inning.
I've been to Portland. Very nice.
Have you?
Did. I went this year.
Okay.
USC played Oregon in football, so you fly into Portland to drive out to Eugene.
Okay.
They're not super close. It's a 3-hour drive, but it makes more sense to fly into Portland.
Is the drive on the water?
You see a little bit. You do have to cross a bridge, if I remember correctly.
They got fog out there?
Yes.
Okay, good. First pitch misses low to Zion Rose. Prepared you for your summer in Chatham.
It did. It was supposed to rain, but it didn't. It was sub 40 degrees, though. We were outside on top of the press box.
Kind of like tonight. Supposed to rain, and it hasn't. 1-0 to Rose. Taken. Strike called.
I'll put it this way. I didn't need a wool overcoat for tonight's game. I did in Oregon.
Shouldn't need it at all this summer. Hope you didn't even pack it.
It's still in Los Angeles.
Good. As it should be.
Where I don't need it.
Pickoff throw to first. Backstanding Willits on the first base bag. Drake George pitches for Lewis Clark State College, the Superior Baseball School. They've won 19 NAIA national championships. 1-1 pitch on one hop to second base. Gobbled up by Davis. He goes the short way on an underhand flip to Kyle Lodis, who covers second base. And that retires Jackson Willits and the Commodores in the top of the third, where Falmouth goes for no runs on one hit, no errors, and one man left on base. Just 41 pitches through 3 scoreless for Drake George, and the Anglers lead it 3-0 halfway through 3 at Veterans Field. Stick with us for more Chatham A's baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air.
To be seen for a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
All my friends live in a small town. My parents live in the same small town. My town is a small town. But has little opportunity.
From the University of Washington. Number 13.
Bottom of the
Tiger
third.
Arquette.
In the small town of Chatham, Massachusetts on Cape Cod. Anglers in front of the Commodores, 3-0. Trying to extend the lead. Iva Arquette up, and he swings through the first pitch slider, 0-1. A's struck for all 3 runs in the bottom of the second. All 3 coming courtesy of Austin Overn's home run, 0-1. Up and in, 1-1 the count. Speaking of cool places to go see, Iva Arquette hails from Hawaii. 1-1. Tipped into the mitt, 1-2. Plays his school ball out on the West Coast at Washington. .325 hitter there, and he flicks the 1-2 back out of play.
Been to Hawaii, haven't been to Washington yet.
Okay, 1 for 2. I have not been to either. Hawaii's got to be high up on the bucket list. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Arquette down on strikes for the second time tonight after he had a great night last night. 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored.
Hawaii might have to be number 1 on your bucket list. I might force it up there for you.
In the States, it might be.
It's a longer flight from Syracuse or from Georgia.
It's a long way. First pitch to Cantwell is taken outside, ball 1.
Another throw got away from the pitcher guy. This is becoming unbelievable at this point.
What is that, 3 through 3 innings?
3 that have gotten past him and a bounty of others that have been in odd locations.
Couple rolls through the grass on the infield meant that Colby Guy needed a new baseball. He gets it. Now he comes home, and he misses high. 2-0 the count.
It's got to be the worst feeling for Zion Rose. And normally catchers don't have to put too much thought in tossing it back, but it is racing through his head, I'm sure.
2-0 home. Is lined the other way, deep in the hole. It's short backhand glove, and off the mitt of Willits into shallow left field. Again, the Anglers go the other way. Luke Cantwell blows a kiss to the Chatham dugout. Right at Sheets.
The shortstop from Georgia Tech, number 24, Kyle Lodis.
Trusting the approach, and it works out with a 1-out base hit. Those two have quite the relationship, Sheets and Luke Cantwell.
Eccentric in the same way.
First pitch on the inner half, strike one to Lodis.
Today at the lunge, Sheets had all the players line up and introduce themselves to some of the donors, the host families, members of the CAA.
0-1 pitch. That one's fisted into center field. Base hit. Stop sign at second base for Cantwell. And again, the Anglers in business. 2 runners on, 1 out for Landon Stripling.
So players started walking over, ready to get the mic. Cantwell lagged behind, he waited, and he made sure he was the last in line so that he'd be the last one to talk. And Sheets noticed, he said, "Of course you're going last."
Sheets asked all the players to say one fun fact. Luke Cantwell's was that his host mom makes the best scrambled eggs he's ever had. First pitch to Stripling skips in, and it's stopped at the plate by the chest protector on Zion Rose.
I'm sure if he was here with us, he'd want us to shout out Marianne, who apparently can scramble him with the best of them.
That's a real talent. I don't think I could keep up there. I like to cook, but not sure about my scrambled eggs ability. 1-0's in the dirt, 2-0 to Stripling. Landon Stripling said his fun fact was he loves to play chess. The only other player we've found on the team that likes to play chess stands at first base, Kyle Lodis. 2-0 in the dirt, 3-0. So we're working on organizing a chess match between Kyle Lodis and Landon Stripling. The problem is that Kyle wants to play it on a real board, and Landon wants to play it on his iPhone.
That is not playing chess.
3-0. Outside ball 4. Bases juiced for the A's for the second time in 3 innings against Colby Guy.
Make sure to get your 50-50 tickets. I saw Greer with the neon orange.
How is
shirt
that not
walking
playing
around.
chess?
Get your 50-50 tickets.
I just don't think it fully counts. These darn kids nowadays have to do everything on their phones.
You have to be in it to win it.
I can say that about Landon. He's one of the few players I'm actually older than.
We'll talk about that chess match in a few minutes, but first there's a pitching change. Chatham bars in. Shout out to you. First Chatham bars in, called to the bullpen of the night. Comes with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Colby Guy's day is done as he goes 2 1/3 and he exits with the bases loaded with Anglers here in the bottom of 3. Chatham already leading 3-0. We'll get to the new Falmouth reliever when we return. Comes into a jam, bases juiced and 1 out. A's already up 3 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
Some stuck out as I go. I'm just traveling up the road. Maps don't do much for me, friend. I follow the weather and the wind. I'm hitchhiking all day long. Got what I can carry in my song. I'm a rolling stone just rolling on. Catch me now, 'cause tomorrow I'll be gone. Family man gives me a ride. Got a pregnant Sally at his side. Yes, indeed, so children are a gift. Thank you kindly for the lift. I'm hitchhiking all day long. Trucker gears his engine down.
Now batting for the Anglers, the
Back out of the Chatham bars in, called to the bullpen, Riley Stanford out of Georgia Tech. A tall righty is the reliever on for Falmouth with the bases loaded and 1 out. He faces Will Gasparino. Chatham 3, Falmouth nothing. Stanford out of the stretch, looks back to second. Now comes home. Fastball cut on and missed at 94. 0-1. Stanford at 6'4", 240 out of Gainesville, Georgia. Freshman out of Georgia Tech. Pitching in what is his 3rd appearance. (0-1) from the righty. Breaking ball lands on the inside corner. Strike 2. Stanford in his first 2 2/3 innings pitched has struck out 6, but he's given up 5 runs on 7 hits. The righty a long lean in for the sign. Finally gets it with just 4 seconds to pitch. He comes home at 0. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A 3-pitch strikeout out of the bullpen for Riley Stanford. Cuts down Will Gasparino for the 2nd out.
From the University of Southern California, number 9, Austin Over.
And that's a spot where a strikeout is something you can't really afford as an offense, especially one that struggled to plate runs as much as Chatham has this year.
Flips the lineup over to the home run hitting Austin Over. Right on left. First offering is lined over the shortstop. Well, it's into left field. 1 run in. Lodis gets the wave. Over and chugging to second. He is there standing. A 2-run double for Austin Over. He has 5 RBIs in the first 3 innings, and Chatham leads it 5-0.
Now batting for Chatham, the second baseman from Vanderbilt, number 30, Jaden Davis.
Chatham got 5 strikeouts from the leadoff spot yesterday. Today already 5 runs batted in. I'd say it's a good bounce back day for Austin.
Other way again into the left center field gap. Brings home Cantwell and Lodis. Brings up Davis to the plate. Those runs charged to Colby Guy. Stanford comes home and misses high with a slider. 1-0. Right now, Colby Guy tagged for 5 runs, all earned, on 7 hits through 2 1/3, but he is still responsible for Landon Stripling, who leads off of 3rd. 1-0 pitch. Fastball tipped foul at the plate. 1-1. Riley Stanford, his replacement, a high recruit out of the state of Georgia. Top 5 recruit in the state, top 50 nationally, but as an outfielder, has only batted 7 times in 2 years at Georgia Tech. Turned into mostly a pitcher. 1-1. Grounded the other way. Backhand stop at first. Flip to the pitcher, Stanford. He covers the bag in time. Great snag by Gaffney. Stanford got over and made the play to retire the side. Not before the Anglers strike again. Austin Over and again with a 2-run double. The A's go for 2 on 3 hits in the inning. Strand 2 on base on no errors from the Commodores. We are through 3 at Veterans Field. The Anglers have already charged for 5 and gotten Colby Guy, the starter for Falmouth, out of the game after just 2 1/3 innings pitched for the righty out of UNC Asheville. Meanwhile, for the A's, Drake George is back on the mound for his 4th inning of work when we return, and Jack Smith will take over for your play-by-play on the other side on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC.
Welcome back to Veterans Field on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. It's been a strong start for the Chatham A's here at home, a 5-0 Anglers lead as we enter the top of the 4th inning, and Drake George remains on the mound for Chatham. He'll face Luke Gaffney, Donovan LaSalle, Jason Jones, 3 righties in the heart of the order. First pitch, and a bouncer back up the middle. Second baseman Davis watches it roll into center field, a base hit for Gaffney. He rounds first, heads back to the bag, and it's a leadoff single on the first pitch of the 4th.
The right fielder, number 41, Donovan LaSalle.
Gaffney's 10th hit already of the summer. He's really paced this Falmouth offense that Andrew at times has struggled. He's been the lone bright spot.
Falmouth has really struggled at the plate, hitting just above 200 as a team.
5-0 Chatham, runner at first, nobody out. And Donovan LaSalle sees a ball skip off of the catcher Irish, and that bounces towards the Falmouth dugout. Gaffney advances to second base. It was a breaking ball that started over the plate but broke well outside. Skipped off of the chest protector of Irish, who didn't swivel around quite far enough to keep it near home plate. And 2 pitches into the 4th, a runner's in scoring position for Falmouth.
The other problem for the Commodores so far this summer is Chatham has had its offensive struggles too, trying to adjust to Cape Cod League pitching. But the Commodores haven't quite had the pitching either at above a 5 ERA, struggling to win games.
Drake George steps off. He's pitching today for Chatham in his first Cape Cod start. Looks in at Donovan LaSalle, pins his glove to his chest, now sets at the belt. One look towards second, now he kicks and deals. And LaSalle takes high, it's 2 balls and no strikes. The Commodores have already allowed 5 earned runs today on 8 hits in the first 3 innings for Chatham, an offense that normally averages around 5 or 6 hits for a full game. George shakes his sign, shakes again as Irish continues to put down the signals. Now George has the one he wants. Set at the bell. Here's his 2-0. LaSalle pops it up, sky high, back behind home plate. It soars out of play. Fans on the concourse watch it hit off the bleachers. One high hop to a kid in a green hoodie down on the concourse. Balls in 1 strike the count on Donovan LaSalle, the right fielder from Oklahoma State, who struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Fog continues to roll in. Doesn't look like a problem for now, but we'll wait and see. Gaffney jumps off second, heads back to the bag. 2-1. LaSalle takes outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. A breaking ball that started off the plate and went further away from home.
You were thinking it as I was. The fog, you can see it. It's starting to gather a little bit under the light posts.
Just don't talk to me about droplets. Apparently that's not allowed. 3 balls and 1 strike on Donovan LaSalle.
Yes, sir, meteorologist Smith.
George comes home. Off the inside corner, it's ball 4. Fastball at 94 just missed the inside part of the plate. And a walk puts the first 2 on in the 4th. If you weren't with us yesterday, it was raining from about the 5th inning through the 9th. I made a comment about how it looked like it was raining hard but with small droplets, and Andrew hasn't let me hear the end of it.
No comment.
First and second for Falmouth, nobody out. 5-0 Anglers on top here at Veterans Field. Jason Jones, the left fielder from Arkansas, singled his first time up. First pitch to Jones. He swings and pops it up into center field. It falls for a base hit. Just past the outstretched glove of Lodice, the shortstop. The Commodores go station to station, and that loads the bases as Gaffney stops at third. So Drake George, pitching with a 5-0 lead, has given up a pair of hits and a walk, and the first 3 Commodores have reached to juice the bases.
Happened in a hurry, because George had faced just 2 over the minimum through 3.
He's now given up 4 hits, but still yet to give up a run. He's back in the windup as he looks at Dylan Carey with the bases loaded. First pitch, way high. It sails near the head of Carey. A ball and no strikes. Anglers on top 5-0, but a danger spot in the top of the 4th with the bases full of Commodores. 1-0 offering from George. Breaking ball on the outside corner, it's strike one. He looped it in there. The scoreboard says 43 miles an hour. Wasn't quite that slow, but it sure was a departure from the high 90s speed of his fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Bounced foul right at home plate. Carey tapped it off his foot. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
The good news for pitching coach Eric Beatty is he can give a little bit of a leash here tonight to Drake George. Last couple of nights, he's been pitching guys in very close games. Tonight, a little bit of an early lead.
2 shakes from George. From the windup, he stares in. 1-2 on the way. Up high, it's ball 2. Just missed the top of the zone as Irish tried to frame it downwards with a flick of the glove at 93 miles an hour. Carey grounded into a 6-4 fielder's choice in his first at-bat. That came in the second. Here he bats with the bases loaded, nobody out. 2-2. Down low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. A walk means a run, and it would bring Christian Martin, the left-hander who's on deck, to the plate. Gaffney off third, LaSalle off second, Jones off first. From the windup, George comes home with the payoff. Bounced foul. It goes back to the backstop as Carey just barely got a piece. It was a fastball off the outside corner. Looked to be ball 4 that Carey chased, and he was lucky to get the end of his burnt red bat on it. Corners in, middle back for Chatham. 5-0 Anglers lead. Another 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He went back to the breaking ball, and he got a wave and a miss from Carey. 1 out. 5th strikeout for Drake George. It starts the 4th inning. Four of the 5, Andrew, have come on swinging strike 3s, which if you don't follow pitching tends to be harder to do. He now looks in at Christian Martin, the lefty. Still bases loaded, 1 out. And Martin takes a strike, a bender on the outside corner. It's 0-1. The theory behind it is your stuff has to be really good to get swings and misses. Here's the 0-1. Martin bends back out of the way. It misses inside, 1-1. As opposed to a looking strike 3 means someone maybe gives up on a pitch and takes it for a strike. They were guessing for something else. Sometimes on a swinging strike 3, you can throw them the pitch they want and they still don't hit it. 1-1 to Martin. He swings and bounces it towards first. Cantwell will come home with it. Caught by Irish. He fakes a throw back to first. Does not get rid of it, but Cantwell cuts down the lead runner, and there's 2 away.
Designated hitter number 14, Carson Bowen.
Heads up play from Luke Cantwell, who instead of trying to turn 2 by going to second, comes home to ensure that a run does not score for Falmouth.
And I think if he puts that chest high for Irish, they might have a chance at 2 back at first, but once Irish had a little bit of time before he could get it back to first, smart play to just eat it.
First pitch to Carson Bowen. The righty takes high. Irish fakes a pick back to first, and the pitch was called a strike. Looked to be above the zone, but our home plate umpire Joe Carrico called it strike 1. 5-0 Chatham, top of the 4th inning. Commodores have the bases loaded now with 2 outs. 0-1. Bowen grounds it towards third. Arquette gives ground. He backs up. The third baseman throws long to first. Cantwell keeps his foot on the bag, and that ends the inning. It was bases loaded and nobody out for Falmouth, but George escapes the Houdini magic trick. He gets a strikeout, then a ground out to first, and a deep ground out into the hole at third to Iva Arquette. So it's no runs for Falmouth on 2 hits, no errors, 3 runners left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Chatham still leading 5-0, and they have to thank Drake George, who escapes the jam here in the top of the 4th inning. We'll be back with more Chatham A's baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
Well, I came by your house the other day. Your mother said you went away. She said there was nothing that I could have done. There was nothing nobody could say. Now me and you, we've known each other, yeah, ever since we were 16. I wished I would have known. I wished I could have called you just to say goodbye, Bobby G.
5-0 A's in the bottom of the fourth inning here at Veterans Field. And it's the heart of the order coming to the plate for the A's. Ike Irish, John Bay, and Iva Arquette. A lefty and two righties against Riley Stanford, who stays on the hill for Falmouth. Irish swings to the first pitch and bounces it on the ground a couple big hops to second. Martin backs up, he fields near his face, and he throws to first in time for the out. One pitch, one out for Riley Stanford, who entered in relief of Colby Guy, the starter for Falmouth last inning. Gave up a couple of inherited runners, but then got the final out. He stays out on the hill for Jeff Trundy, the manager for Falmouth. He now looks in at John Bay, the left fielder from Austin P, who's been aboard both times to the plate today. A walk in the first and a single in the second. Stanford from the stretch, big righty fires. And Bay lofts it into right field. It falls for a base hit. Nearing the gap, LaSalle, the right fielder, cuts it off, and Bay turns first with his second hit of the day. It's a single with one out in the fourth inning.
And we are just one out into the fourth inning, but by far the best night of hitting that we've seen, approach-wise, contact-wise, for the Anglers thus far.
A's did score 11 runs in the season opener at Wareham, but this feels like a day where everyone's clicking more than they did even on opening day. Iva Arquette to the plate. He's trying to join the party as he bounces it foul on a check swing at a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-1.
And the A's on opening night were helped out with plenty of walks to go with a handful of hits.
Arquette today is 0 for 2. We're only in the fourth inning, but he's the only A that hasn't reached base. Runner at first, one out. A 1 pitch, runner on the move. It's taken for a ball. Here's the throw. Bay slides in safe. He gives a salute to the Chatham dugout as John Bay has his first stolen base of the summer, puts himself in scoring position with one out. That will draw a visit from Zion Rose, the catcher, out to the mound. Riley Stanford gave up the single to Bay, now the stolen base, and so the battery will talk about it.
Let's hear it for Steve.
Andrew, we talked about it in last night's broadcast. John Bay is big, he's strong, hits a lot of home runs. We were impressed with how fast he was, seeing him beat out a bunt base hit yesterday.
You don't see it out of a cleanup guy.
No.
To bunt, to steal a base, that's just not what you see this era of new college baseball players do, but that's part of what Sheets is trying to preach. Be aggressive, get on base any way you can, move the guys over. In this league where there's so much good pitching, you have to be able to produce runs that way.
Rose squats back behind home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike, a runner at second with 1 out. 5-0 Chatham leads in the bottom of the fourth inning. Stanford from the stretch, sets and looks at second. A second peek over there, now he comes home. Arquette spoils it foul, flips it over the first base dugout and out of play. It's a ball and 2 strikes. I talked with John Bay about that during batting practice, as Chatham had the guys out early yesterday, putting bunts down for around an hour. They had missed a couple of opportunities, not Bay specifically, but other guys during the game. 1-2 pitch. Arquette pops it up foul again. Back and out of play behind home plate. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Landon Stripling failed to get a couple of bunts down. Austin O'Verne bunted 1 foul. But I asked Bay, hey, is bunting part of your game at Austin P, knowing he's hit a bunch of home runs? He said no, but he's put 3 bunts down in his Austin P career, and he's beaten all of them out for hits. Another 1-2 coming from Stanford. Arquette spoils it foul, hits it high and deep down the right field line. Could have had home run distance, but it's well foul, still 1-2. So if you add his Chatham career, he's put 4 bunts down, he's got 4 base hits. maybe he should do it a little bit more.
Well, it's the surprise factor. You catch the defense off guard when you don't do it too often.
1 ball and 2 strikes still on Iva Arquette. And he takes high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bay's a guy this past year for the Governors. Second team All-ASUN selection, had 20 doubles and 24 home runs. He's a big power bat, but the bunt is clearly a small part of his arsenal as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count on Arquette as Bay dances off second. Arquette chops it foul. 1 big hop down the third base line. They call it a fair ball, and he's thrown out at first. It bounced into foul territory, over to the right side of the third base bag, where Carey, the third baseman, gloved it, ran into foul territory, and then threw him out. A weird spinning hop off the bat of Iva Arquette, who missed a foul ball by maybe an inch. It moves Bay to third, but it's the second out of the inning. It brings up Luke Cantwell, who singled and scored in the third. First pitch to the lefty. Cantwell takes a strike on the inside corner at the top of the zone, 0-1. Stanford looking for a scoreless inning, with Chatham up 5-0 in the bottom of the 4th. He shakes and now steps off. Takes a peek over at Bay, who has not moved, but he's about 3 or 4 feet off the third base bag. Sheets tells him to extend his lead. He obliges. 0-1. Off the inside corner, gets to the backstop. Here comes Bay. He scores standing up, and Chatham takes a 6-0 lead. Bay dances around the bases with a stolen base. He advances on the fielder's choice, and he comes in to score on the pass ball. He continues, Andrew, the methodical approach to this Chatham offense. Get on, get over, come in. 1-1 the count on Cantwell. Here's the offering. And he takes a breaking ball on the outside corner at strike 2. It's just been that kind of day for the A's, who have found themselves getting on base and scoring at an easier pace.
And that's why you steal the bases right there, or else that's not a run.
1-2 pitch. Off the plate and a little bit down with a changeup, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cantwell was dancing out of the back of the box. He's got that Soto-like shuffle when he takes a ball. On the other side, Riley Stanford certainly thought it was a strike. He was shuffling his own way to the first base dugout. 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cantwell down on strikes for the second time. It's the second strikeout for Riley Stanford out of the bullpen. Chatham gets 1 run on 1 hit, a John base single. He steals a base and comes all the way around to score. We head to the top of the 5th inning. 9 hits for Chatham, 4 for the Commodores, who come back up with Chatham on top 6-0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
Baby, you know she comes around just about 5 feet 4 from her head to the ground. You know she comes around here just about midnight. She make her feel so good, Lord. She make her feel all right. And her name is G. L. Whoa. R. I. G-L-Y. Gloria. G-L-Y. Gloria. I'm gonna shout it all night. Gloria. I'm gonna shout it every day. Yeah, 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 yeah.
9-1-2 due up to the plate for Falmouth as we enter the top of the 5th inning. A 6-0 Chatham Anglers lead as Drake George stares in at Tab Tracy, the center fielder. Tracy shows bunt. He puts it down the third base line. It's well placed as George comes off the mound, fields with a bare hand, and his throw is late. Tracy well past the first base bag by the time it skipped up into Luke Cantwell. He bunts for a leadoff single to start the fifth.
It's funny, Drake George was kind of waiting for Iva Arquette at third to come get that, and he never was there. He was just so far behind the third base bag that George tried to barehand it himself, but really no play.
By the time Tracy got it down in the spot that he wanted to, it was pretty clear it was going to be a base hit. That brings up the leadoff man, Jackson Willits. Runner at first, nobody out. George picks over to first, and Willits dives back in safely. Just because of where Arquette was playing, deep behind the third base bag, and the fact that George falls off the first base side of the rubber, Tracy put it in a perfect spot. Willits takes outside, a breaking ball down in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. It's also worth noting that Tracy has elite speed. The A&M center fielder comes out of the left-hand batter's box and was in a dead sprint to first. 1-0 the count on Willits, who's 1 for 2. He swings here and flies it down the left field line. Hooking away from John Bay, it bounces foul. Into the Chatham bullpen on one big hop. About 30 to 40 feet to the left of the left field line. 1 ball and 1 strike. Willits, the shortstop from Oklahoma, is a switch hitter. He bats lefty against the right-handed George. Popped out to the shortstop Lodis to start the game, and then singled in the 3rd inning. Another pick to first, and again Tracy is back in. George stares over there again. Now he comes set. Black glove held at his Chatham blue belt. Foul back to the screen on the 1-1. It's a ball and 2 strikes on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
Double barrel action in the pen for Chatham, but right now Drake George trying to put himself in a position for his first Cape League win.
Pitching into the 5th inning, where Chatham leads 6-0. Another pick back to first, and again Tab Tracy dives in.
Fog slightly intensifying, but still really no problems. Gonna have to get a whole lot worse than this to threaten baseball.
Long pause, 1-2. Up high, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. No outs, rather. Tracy led off the inning with a bunt single. Tracy redshirted this past season at A&M. No official stolen base statistics yet at the college level. He's got a big lead off first, and he's already drawn over a few throws. 2-2. Willits strikes out swinging. Back pick to first, sails into right field. Past the diving glove of Cantwell. The right fielder Gasparino does not even come up throwing. He fakes the lob to second. Tracy advances. Irish got a little bit greedy and skipped his throw into right.
The catcher, number 4, Zion Rose.
Willits went after a fastball. He came up empty. And with Tracy super far off the first base bag, there was a window for Irish, but just did not make an accurate throw.
Tyler Kozera and Malachi Witherspoon on the 3rd base side.
That puts a runner at second base with 1 out in the top of the 5th. 6-0 Chatham in front here in front of the home fans at Veterans Field. Zion Rose is now the batter. He is 0 for 2. First pitch he sees, he bounces foul. No balls and a strike. Rose, the catcher from Louisville, struck out looking in the 1st inning and then grounded into a 4-6 fielder's choice in the 3rd. Fans dot the berm mainly in right center field. They're still partially visible despite the fog as they're underneath the lights here in Chatham. 0-1 pitch. Rose skies it to right. Gasparino shuffles in. He now sprints, and he makes the catch. Brings the glove down to waist level as he collects out number 2. Rose flies out, and that brings up Luke Gaffney.
The first baseman, number 16, Luke Gaffney.
Andrew, since you're such a good meteorologist and you spent a summer here, does this have the potential signs of a fog out down the line?
The latter is true there. What do I think? No, I don't think so. I think we'll be fine.
Good to hear. You
It's
heard it
just
here.
not, it's really not blowing in all that much right now.
First pitch to Luke Gaffney. It's down in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes.
Like, we can see the high fog that's settled under the light post, but when I look out to my right, I see really no fog in the distance, nothing too thick behind the left field trees. That's where you'd have real problems.
1-0. Gaffney half swings and bounces it to first. Cantwell's off the bag. He flips to his pitcher, George, covering, and Drake George finishes the 5th. A slow roller off the bat of Luke Gaffney. Didn't mean to go around, but he's the final out of the 5th inning. That means we head to the bottom half of the 5th. We are halfway home here on the Cape Cod Weather/Baseball Network. It's 6-0 Chatham as we head to the bottom of the 5th, and the bottom third of the order comes up for the A's. 6-0 Chatham here at Veterans Field. We'll be back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
The Cape's leader, sports radio play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer. Johnny's got his 6-string high. Now he's holding in when he used to make it talk so tough. It's tough. Gina dreams of running away. She cries in the nighttime and whispers, baby, it's okay. Someday we gotta hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand.
We charge into the bottom of the 5th inning. A Chatham 6-0 lead here at Veterans Field as the A's bring the bottom third of the order up against the reliever Riley Stanford. Kyle Lodis, Landon Stripling, Will Gasparino, the 3 to the plate. It's 2 righties, and a lefty for Chatham. First pitch to Lodis. He takes a fastball at the top of the zone, 0-1. Lodis, the shortstop from Georgia Tech, grounded out to third back in the 2nd inning before he singled and scored in the 2-run third for Chatham. He awaits the 0-1 from the tall righty Stanford. He bends back out of the way of a fastball up high, 1-1. Stanford looms atop the hill. Broad shoulders, thick hair coming out of the back of his head. Comes set 1-1. Winds and fires. Misses inside with a breaking ball. 2 balls and a strike. He's got a slightly original motion where he bends his back leg towards second base, swivels a bit as he turns towards second before rearing it home. And he hits the inside corner this time with a fastball at 93. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's almost like he's preparing to turn and pick at second. Then he gets his momentum moving downhill towards home plate as he spins back around to pitch. He shakes his sign, 2-2 the count on Lodis. Stanford fires. Off the plate outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 6-0 Chatham. We stand in the bottom of the 5th at Veterans Field. 9 hits for the A's, 5 for the Falmouth Commodores. Infield plays back for Kyle Lodis. 3-2. Lodis taps it foul. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Stanford, a redshirt freshman from Georgia Tech. Appeared in 19 total games for the Yellow Jackets this year. He's 6'4", 236 pounds. He shakes once again off his catcher's eye on Rose and comes set. Another 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tied him up with a breaking ball on the inside corner, and that's the first out of the 5th.
For Chatham, the designated hitter from Texas Tech.
So Andrew, you
36,
said to me
Landon
between the break
Stripling.
that this fog is concerning you a little bit more now.
Yeah,
Why is that?
Every good meteorologist qualifies his statement. to make sure that he's not 100% wrong. I would say it's getting a little lower.
Here's the lefty, Landon Stripling. It misses high. Fastball out of the hand of Stanford. 1 ball and no strikes.
I mean, we probably had to stop 6 games last summer at Veterans Field for fog. It just has to be really low in order to truly impact the game. Right now, it's not quite gotten down to like field level.
1-0 pitch. Stripling takes a changeup off the plate outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
We'll see. It's progressively getting worse, but not very quickly.
It's not blocking the lights, but you can certainly see that underneath the lights, there's a slow roll of the fog towards left field.
It's making its presence known.
2-0. On the outside corner with a fastball, 2-1.
You like it?
It's nice. It sets the vibe a little bit.
A little ominous.
Makes it feel like you're playing baseball on Cape Cod, though. 2-1 to Stripling. He swings and bounces it towards shore. Moving to his right, Willits has it. Throws on the run to first. It's high. Safe. Stripling goes under the tag of Gaffney, and he's aboard with 1 out. It's ruled an error on Willits, the shortstop. He had a chance, and if he made a good throw, he certainly gets Stripling. But Gaffney had to come off the base, jump, and try and apply the tag, and he did not. Our 3 umpires talk about it. Joe Carrico, Jeff Roselle, Mike Rabideau meet. Almost does the 90-degree angle and a triangle between first base and the mound. And they officially rule that the call will stand. Stripling is safe at first.
The University of Texas, number 8.
It's the first error on Falmouth. Chatham has 9 hits. Falmouth has 5. Scoreboard right now says an error apiece. So that brings up Will Gasparino. Tall right-handed hitter. Takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Stripling has been on base all 3 times he's come to the plate. 2 walks and he's reached on an error, taking advantage of mistakes made by Falmouth as a pick goes his way and he dives back in, dirtying up the white pinstripe uniform.
Interesting move there from Stanford. Tried to pick over as Stripling was building his lead. Almost led to more trouble, though. He almost threw it away.
0-1. Swing and a miss from Gasparino, who falls behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Chased the breaking ball at 80 miles an hour. Just well out in front. Gasparino was hit by a pitch and scored in the second before striking out on 3 pitches in the third. He has a runner at first with 1 out. Stanford kicks and deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. For the second straight time, Gasparino is down on 3 pitches.
Now batting for the Anglers, the center fielder.
7th strikeout of the day for Commodores pitching. That's the 4th out of the bullpen for Riley Stanford, who is clearly pitching in a bulk inning role out of the bullpen for Jeff Trundy. The starter, Colby Guy, went just 2 1/3, gave up 7 hits and 5 of the 6 runs for Falmouth. Austin O'Verne drove in all 5 of them, and he's at the plate right now. First pitch he sees is a fastball on the outside corner at 94, 0-1. O'Verne hit a 3-run home run in the second, well deep into the trees past the left field wall, before he doubled to the opposite field gap to knock in 2 runs in the third. 2 for 3, 5 runs knocked in. 0-1 misses high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. 6-0 Chatham, bottom of the 5th inning here at Veterans Field. A runner at first with 2 outs for the A's. Stanford takes in a deep breath, fills the lungs up, and exhales. He comes set, gray glove held just below the Falmouth script in crimson. Runner on the move, 1-1. Pitches outside, here's the throw to second, safe. Stripling takes the second base bag. He steals to put himself in scoring position. I believe, Andrew, do they call that a strike on the outside corner? thought it was outside, but a breaking ball apparently crossed the outer edge. So instead of 2 balls and a strike, it's 1 and 2 on Austin Over. Runner at second, now 2 outs. 1-2 on the way. Overn takes off the plate outside, 2 and 2. Looked like Overn, with the runner on the move, had given up on the 1-1. Came outside and then broke back over the outside edge.
Smart to let the stolen base happen, too, because Stripling had a fantastic jump.
Deuces wild, 2-2, 2 outs. Bounced on the ground towards second. Martin charges, he gloves, he throws to first, and that ends the inning. So Overn can't pick up an RBI this time. He'll have to settle for 5 through the first 5 innings. We head to the top of the 6th. It's a 6-0 Chatham lead. The A's have 9 hits to the Commodores 5. We'll see if Drake George stays out. Instead, it looks like a Chatham Bars in call to the bullpen here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
I got so down and out in Frisco, tired of the pills and the rain. I picked up headed for the sunshine. I left a good thing behind. Seemed all of our love was in vain. Now my baby's coming in on the Tucson train. I come here looking for a new life, one I wouldn't have to explain. To that voice that keeps me awake at night, when a little piece would make everything right. If I could just turn off my brain. But now my baby's coming in on the Tucson train. We fought hard over nothing. We fought till nothing remained. I've carried that nothing for a long time. Now I carry my operator's license and spend my days just running this crane. And my baby's coming in on the Tucson train.
Kickoff at 7 o'clock with the fireworks at 9:50.
We welcome you back to Veterans Field in the top of the 6th inning here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network, where the Chatham Anglers lead the Falmouth Commodores 6-0. New pitcher enters for Chatham.
The right
It's
fielder,
Tanner
number 41,
Franklin, who takes over for the starter
LaSalle.
Drake George. This call to the bullpen presented by Chatham Bars Inn. Tanner Franklin is a 5'10", 170-pound right-hander. Just finished up his redshirt sophomore season at Kennesaw State. He looks at the cleanup man Donovan LaSalle for Falmouth. A right-on-right matchup to start the 6th. Franklin deals, and LaSalle takes outside with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. It's LaSalle, then Jason Jones and Dylan Carey. 3 righties, 4-5-6 for Falmouth. 1-0 pitch. Check swing, and he went around. LaSalle chased the high fastball, tried to stop his swing at the last second, but broke the 50-50 plane. A ball and a strike. LaSalle is a right fielder from Oklahoma State. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. 1-1. Strike 2 call on the inside corner. A 94-mile-an-hour fastball buckled the knees of LaSalle. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Infield plays back. Outfield deep, shrouded in the fog here at Veterans Field. 1-2 on the way. LaSalle lines it into center field, sinking in front of Overn, and it falls for a base hit. The Chatham center fielder ranges into the gap. He picks it up, tosses it in, and LaSalle's aboard with a leadoff single in the 6th.
The left fielder, number 5, Jason Jones.
Tanner Franklin is making his 2nd appearance for Chatham. In his first appearance, he went an inning and 2/3. gave up 4 runs, but they were all unearned, and the 11-0 loss to Hyannis. That came a couple of days ago before we had the off day, and the win over Orleans, and the loss last night to Brewster. So Franklin's had some time to think about it. He went an inning and 2/3 and walked 3. First pitch to Jason Jones is off the plate inside, 1 ball and no strikes. The single for LaSalle is the 6th hit for Falmouth tonight. 2 of them have come from Jason Jones. The left fielder from Arkansas has a pair of singles that came in the 2nd and the 4th. 1-0 delivery. Jones cracks it foul. Flies over the first base dugout and well out of play to even the count at a ball and a strike. The fog now rolls in a little bit lower. You can see bits of it just above the netting down the first base line as it kicks towards left. A ball and a strike, runner at first, nobody out. Franklin picks to first, they've got him in a rundown. LaSalle charges for second. Cantwell throws to Lodice, who runs back, and the tag applied at first by Franklin. Pitcher's there to do his own mop-up duty. He picks off Donovan LaSalle, and it's the first out of the 6th inning.
Second night in a row with the successful pickoff from Chatham pitchers.
It's one of the things you don't see all that often, but a clinical job by Tanner Franklin. He mixed up his looks, he waited, he got LaSalle jumping to first, and he just managed to pick at the right time.
A little more successful of a rundown, too. The other took about 20 seconds.
1-1 pitch. Jones bounces it towards third. Arquette charges in front of Lodice, the shortstop. Throws low, and it skips to the first base dugout. And it goes out of play. Bounced into the photographer well. I guess I shouldn't say well. The photographer chalked off area past the first base dugout. And that means that Jason Jones gets to go to second. It goes down as an E5, and it counts for 2 bases.
Third baseman, number 20.
And a runner in scoring position with 1 out. We've seen Iva Arquette make a ton of sure-handed plays. That was not one of them.
Good first half. Got the ball, spun, and then not so good of a throw.
It's one he wants to have back, as a good throw would have gotten Jones at first. It brings up Dylan Carey, the third baseman from Nebraska. Another right-on-right matchup with a runner at second and 1 out. First pitch, breaking ball on the inside corner, strike 1 call. Second error today for Chatham. The first one came as Ike Irish tried to backpick a runner at first, and his throw skipped into right field. Carey is 0 for 2. He's grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out swinging. 0-1 from Franklin. Down low with a fastball. It's a ball and a strike. That one just submerged below the zone at 94. Moves the count to 1-1 with 1 out. Another nice crowd here at Veterans Field. Quiet now, but has been loud as Chatham put up its first 6 runs. 1-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. It's a ball and 2 strikes. A's got 3 in the second on an Austin O'Verne home run. Then he doubled in a pair in the third before Chatham added 1 more in the 4th inning. Franklin pauses, he looks to second. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the fastball. And there's 2 away in the 6th. Let's check on some MLB scores. Your Major League Scoreboard presented by Mahi Gold Outfitters.
Let's do that. Pirates win over the Rays 4-3 earlier today. Braves trailing 4-1 to the Yankees in the 6th.
That'll make our producer, Giovanni Collada, happy. He always hates when we say the Yankees score and they're losing. First pitch is upstairs to Christian Martin. The left-handed hitting second baseman from Va Tech has lined out today and grounded out into a fielder's choice.
Twins over the A's, Rangers over the Royals, Phillies over the D-backs, and the Cubs over the Mets earlier today.
1-0. Martin takes a strike. Breaking ball on the outside corner. It's a ball and a strike to count. Chatham leads 6-0 here at Veterans Field. We're in the top of the 6th with a runner at second and 2 outs for Falmouth.
Couple more for you. White Sox beat the Tigers. Cardinals beat your Giants.
Ouch.
And the Padres up 4-0 on the Brew Crew in the bottom of 5.
Martin takes outside with a fastball at 96 from Tanner Franklin. 2 balls and 1 strike. What was the St. Louis and San Francisco score?
A lot to a little, I think.
Giants are 5 games below 500.
9-4 maybe?
And never should have left California, apparently. 2-1 the count on Martin. Franklin looks towards second. Now comes down Broadway. Misses low. It bounces off our home plate umpire. Skips to the backstop. As Jason Jones goes to third, he rounds the bag past the outcrop of the grass, but decides to go back to third. It was a pitch that sailed low that looked like Ike Irish never found. Went off the shin guard of Joe Carrico, the home plate umpire, and caromed away to the backstop. Every time we do this, it feels like your Braves are winning and the Giants lose.
Not tonight.
Not tonight.
4-1 Yanks.
For now.
But that's a sign of one good baseball team and one bad baseball team.
Double ouch. 3-1 on Martin. Franklin delivers. Martin bounces it back up the middle into center field. It's a base hit. Jason Jones can trot home to score. He touches home to give Falmouth its first run of the day. 6-1 Chatham in the 6th.
Designated hitter, number 14.
You didn't need to do me like that.
Carson Bowen.
Reality hurts sometimes. Not to say it's all sunshine and rainbows in Atlanta.
Yeah, how many World Series have you seen since you were born?
Oh, one. Recently, though.
That is true. So Martin an RBI base hit. It brings to the plate Carson Bowen, DH today from TCU, who's got 2 bounce outs to the left side. He takes a first pitch breaking ball on the outside corner. It's 0-1. 1 run in for Falmouth, a runner at first and 2 outs. 6-1 A's in the top of the 6th. Martin strides off first, takes a couple extra steps, puts his 2 hands down. Pick goes back there and he dives in safely. Atlanta fighting an uphill battle this year, now without Spencer Strider and Ronald Acuna for the full season.
And in a division with a Phillies team that doesn't lose.
0-1 to Bowen. Outside and it goes to the backstop. Past the diving glove of the catcher Irish as Martin takes the 90-foot advance to second. So another pitch that squirts away. Franklin missed the glove of Ike Irish, and the count moves to a ball and a strike. Martin now at second, held on by the second baseman Jaden Davis, who nears the bag. Franklin peeks there, 1-1. Breaking ball a little bit high, 2 balls and a strike. Bowen put the bat down. He started to bend his head down as he thought the curveball was sailing towards his noggin. Instead, it cut back just above home plate and missed high. Two-1 on the way. Bowen cracks it high in the air, down the right field line. Hooking foul past the lights and out of play to even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Official attendance tonight is 1,053 people at Veterans Field. Most of them congregated behind home plate and down the lines near the dugout in the bleachers, but a large collection of them still sprawl out over the outfield grass, past the fence. 2-2. Swing and a miss from Bowen, strike 3. Irish collects it. He tries to pop up and tag his fellow catcher, but he misses and has to throw to first in time for the final out of the inning. Falmouth scores 1 run on 2 hits as Jason Jones comes in to score on the RBI from Christian Martin. That means it's 6-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're listening to Chatham A's Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Don't go anywhere and join us for the bottom of the 6th.
Chatham A's on the air.
Hi, this is Pierce Shores from the University of Alabama. You're listening to Chatham A's Baseball with Andrew Selover and Jack Smith on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Welcome back to Veterans Field for the bottom of the 6th inning, where the A's lead it 6-1 over the Falmouth Commodores and bring 2-3-4 to the plate. Jaden Davis, Ike Irish, and John Bay, 2 righties and a lefty, against Riley Stanford, who stays on the hill for Falmouth after a couple of strong innings in relief of the starter Colby Guy. Stanford, the tall right-hander, comes set. Third base side of the rubber. First pitch. Davis takes inside on a breaking ball that never spun. A ball and no strikes. Davis on his 20th birthday is 1 for 3. He singled in the first, flew out to right in the second, and grounded out. That came in the 3rd inning. 1-0. Swing and a miss from Davis. It's a ball and a strike. His first 3 at-bats came in the first 3 innings for Chatham, as the A's scored 5 of their 6 runs in those 3 frames. Stanford is ready, right on right against Davis. Here's his 1-1. Swing and a miss again. He chased the high breaking ball. It's a ball and 2 strikes. He's looking for one more hit on his 20th birthday. He said he wanted a couple. Right now he's got 1. Behind in the count, 1-2 to lead off the 6th inning. Here's the delivery. Davis takes outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Perhaps due for a birthday bomb.
Everyone would love one of those. Even in the count, 2-2. Bases empty, nobody out. Here's the pitch. He breaks his bat on a slow pop-up that bounces in front of Gaffney, the first baseman. He underhand flips to the pitcher, Stanford covering, out number 1. The bomb may have to wait for the next time Davis comes up.
Number 4, Ike Irish.
We'll see. I think he's got it in him.
As Ike Irish steps to the plate, I pose an important question to Andrew Selover.
Oh.
Best birthday present you ever received? Fill in the blank.
Might have to wait till the end of the inning for me to think of that.
We'll put you on hold for now. First pitch to Irish. He pops it up, foul, back behind home plate. No balls and a strike.
So a fun fact, I actually share a birthday with my dad.
Wow.
We usually celebrate together, so that's always nice.
Shared presents or no?
Not usually.
0-1 pitch. Irish takes a strike on the outside corner at 80 miles an hour. It lobs its way in there. No balls and 2 strikes.
Share a cake.
Which is normally?
German chocolate cake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes share around the golf.
0-2. Swing and a pop-up. Or rather a line drive foul off the netting above the Chatham dugout. Still 0-2. You can share them with him. I'm not playing golf with you again.
You're done?
Probably.
You're out?
Probably. Do they have ice cream cakes in Georgia?
Where don't they have ice cream cakes?
Just making sure. Touching all my bases. 0-2. Irish chops it towards third. On a pick, Carey's got it. The third baseman throws on the run. Low arm slot throw to get Irish 2 away. Crafty play over at third from Carey, who came in. He flung the glove down to pick it off the short hop and make the running throw to get the catcher Irish. That draws a visit from the first base dugout. There's been a right-hander warming up for Falmouth, and it looks like after 2 retired to start the 6th, it may be the end of the day for Riley Stanford. Jeff Trundy comes out, he gives him a nod. Stanford gets a dap up from his catcher Zion Rose. The entire infield joins him for fist bumps, but Trundy points to the bullpen. This call to the bullpen presented by Chatham Bars Inn. It brings a new right-hander on with 2 outs and nobody on in the bottom of the 6th inning for the A's. 6-1 Chatham on top as Stanford departs and a new right-hander gets ready for John Bay. We'll take a break with them here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. You're listening to the Chatham A's 6-1 at Veterans Field.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above?
the day that I die. Now for 10 years we've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone, but that's not how it used to be. When the jester sang for the king and queen in a coat he borrowed from James Dean, and a voice that came from you and me. Oh, and while the king was looking down, the jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned.
Now batting for the Anglers, the left fielder.
New pitcher for Falmouth with the bases empty and 2 outs. This call to the bullpen presented by Chatham Bars Inn. It brings in Gage Wood to face John Bay. Bay takes a fastball that sails to the backstop. First one out of the hand of Wood is 94 to the screen. 1 ball and no strikes. Wood comes in relief of Riley Stanford. 1-0. Bay checks his swing and fouls it off. He throws his hand up. That brings Ramon Orozco, the third base coach for Chatham, walking slowly towards home. He gets about to the distance of the mound. He's not making it clear whether he wants to go all the way to Bay, and now he does. Could have stung the hands of Bay, but Chatham potentially thinks that it might have hit him. Could put him at first. Trainer comes out to look at Bay, who's holding his left hand, which is covered in a Chatham red batting glove. He's flexing his knuckles, flicking his wrist. Now he squeezes his hand a couple of times as he walks back behind home plate. He seems to be okay. 6-1 Chatham in the bottom of the 6th inning. 9 hits for the A's, 7 for the Commodores. Bases empty for the Anglers here in the 6th inning with 2 outs. Bay steps back in. He takes a deep breath as he looks at his tan bat. 1-1 from the windup. Bay takes a breaking ball above the zone, 2 balls and a strike. Gage Wood is a rising junior from Arkansas. His 2-1 is off the knob, or the elbow rather, of John Bay. This time he's actually hit with a fastball at 95 that catches the elbow guard. That brings Sheets out of the dugout. He looks at Bay, calls him back towards the dugout, and Bay waves him off. He's going to first. Sheets emerges. He grabs all of the protective equipment from John Bay. He'll take it back to the dugout himself. Weird sequence of events here in the 6th inning. But it's clear that the Chatham coaching staff was just concerned about making sure that John Bay was healthy despite the pitches coming inside. He's at first with a hit by pitch, and it brings up Iva Arquette, who takes a breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. No balls and 1 strike. Arquette is still the only Angler that has not reached. 2 strikeouts and a ground out.
Sheets having a little fun with the Bat Boys after that last hit by pitch.
0-1. Swing and a miss from Arquette. He's behind in the count, 0-2. I missed that. What did he do?
Well, he was out there to grab the protective gear, but the Bat Boys were not out there to grab the bat. And so he just stood at the bat waiting for one of them to get out there, then gave it a little kick.
0-2. Off the plate outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's always having fun. That is one thing that you can say for sure about Sheets. Very positive presence in the Chatham dugout. He looks on as his team leads 6-1. 1-2 pitch. Arquette chops it towards second. In comes Martin. He fields, he throws to first, and it's in time to get Arquette. The Husky falls to 0 for 4. He's still looking to reach base today, but the rest of the Chatham offense has propelled the A's in front 6-1. We head to the 7th inning as Tanner Franklin will stay on the mound for the Anglers. It's 6-1 A's as the Commodores come back to the plate. 9-1-2 for the Commodores when we return. Tracy, Willits, and Rose due up when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air.
traffic jam. Staring at the faces in a rearview mirror, looking at the promise of the promised land. One kid dreams of fame and fortune. One kid helps pay the rent. One could end up going to prison. One just might be president. Only in America, dreaming in red, white, and blue.
It's the top of the 7th here at Veterans Field, where the Anglers lead 6-1 over the Falmouth Commodores. Falmouth sends 9-1-2 to the plate, and it starts with a new hitter, the right-hander Bucciero, who takes over in the 9 spot for Tab Tracy. He faces Tanner Franklin and checks his swing and goes around at a high fastball. No balls and a strike. Oh, and 1 the count. Chatham on top, 6-1 here to start the top of the 7th. Franklin deals and misses outside. It's a ball and a strike. Matt Bucciero took over as a defensive replacement last inning for Tab Tracy. He's the new right fielder as LaSalle has moved to center for Falmouth. 1-1. Bucciero takes a breaking ball on the outside corner. It's 1-2. Floated in at 69 miles an hour. Started on the inside corner and then broke to hit the outside corner. Franklin ahead 1-2 on the 9-hole hitter. He's into his windup. Kicks and deals. Bucciero takes strike 3 call. Bent backwards on a breaking ball that cut over the plate at 80 miles an hour for the first out of the 7th inning. We've got some other changes as well. Andrew, a debut is coming. New angler Jet Johnston, just added to the roster today, has taken over for Iva Arquette at third base. He is the only change as of right now for Chatham.
Talked to Jet. He went fishing the day before he makes his Chatham appearance with his dad up here on Cape Cod.
First pitch misses high to Jackson Willits, the leadoff hitter. Johnston is a rising sophomore at Texas A&M. Aggies are playing in the College World Series final, but Johnston's here. 1-0. Swing and a miss. It's a ball and a strike. A lot of the times that can happen with guys that don't play a ton in their freshman season. They sometimes don't make the travel roster, or their team just feels like it's better for their development to go early to play in the summer leagues. 1-1. Upstairs, ball 2. 6-1 Chatham on top in the top of the 7th inning. A 2-1 count on Jackson Willits, who's 1 for 3. 2-1 pitch. On the outside corner with a breaking ball. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Johnston saw time in 13 games this past year for the Aggies, but got just 16 at-bats and pitched just 2 innings as a two-way player. 2-2. Willits shoots it over Johnston into left field, a base hit. It skips out to John Bay as Willits turns first with his second hit of the day.
The catcher, number 4, Zion Rose.
Top of the 7th here at Veterans Field, 6-1 Chatham. Let's check in on some other Cape League scores presented by Sweet Tomatoes Pizza. Cotuit 6, Brewster 1, final after 8. I believe cut short due to a lack of light at Stony Brook Field in Brewster.
Second time we've seen that on the Cape in as many days, as it brings up Zion Rose, the right-handed hitting catcher. Runner at first, 1 out. And Rose takes off the plate outside with a fastball, 1-0.
Battle of the top 2 teams in the East. YD 4, Harwich 3, a final at Harwich. So the Red Sox pace the East at 5-2. Chatham with a win would tie for second with the Mariners at 4-3.
1-0 delivery. It's upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes.
Orleans continues to stay in the bottom of the East Division. Firebirds lost on the road at Hyannis tonight, 6-3. Firebirds 1-6 to start the season. 2 games out of 4th place in the East.
2-0. Rose takes low. It's quickly 3 balls and no strikes. The good news for Orleans is the Firebirds scored 10 runs in their first 6 games. Today was a mini explosion. 3 runs on 7 hits.
I don't know if that's necessarily good news, but
it's moving in the right direction for the Firebirds.
I like your positivity. You get that from Sheets?
Guess he's rubbing off on me. Rose takes a strike on the inside corner, 3-1. Runner at first is Jackson Willits, 1 out in the inning. Chatham on top 6-1. We stand in the top of the 7th here at Veterans Field.
Last score for you, Wareham 7, Bourne 3 final at Bourne.
Franklin picks to first. It's just a lob over as Willits retreats back to the bag.
Gateman a half game behind the Harbor Hawks of Hyannis for first place in the West. 5-2 start for Wareham, who missed the playoffs last season.
Gatemen have gone 5-1 since Chatham shellacked them on opening day.
Welcome up.
3-1. Upstairs, ball 4. Past the check swinging bat of Zion Rose. That puts 2 runners aboard with 1 out to start a potential rally for Falmouth in the 7th. We saw the Wareham team that was ready on opening day. Maybe I shouldn't use the word ready. They just made a ton of mistakes, didn't look like they were prepared for opening day, and you're clearly right. They have woken up and played much better baseball. Matt Beatty, the pitching coach, heads out to the mound, talks to Tanner Franklin as he puts a stop sign towards the Chatham bullpen, as if to say, wait, I'm not calling for you yet. And he's out on the mound talking with Franklin as the A's lead 6-1 in the top of the 7th. The inning started with a strikeout of Bucciero. And Jackson Willits singled, Zion Rose walked. And Eric Beatty talks with Tanner Franklin, former Hyannis Harbor Hawks manager, now Chatham A's pitching coach. Puts a finger in the chest of Tanner Franklin, pats him there, and he'll walk off without pointing to the pen. So he's going to let Tanner Franklin stay in, giving the inning to the Kennesaw State righty.
Talked to Coach Beatty pregame today about the fog. Asked him if he saw any fog outs last year. He saw one here with Hyannis at Veterans Field, and Hyannis actually got one of their own at home last year. So he saw 2 games affected by fog a season ago.
The batter is Luke Gaffney with runners at first and second. He takes a fastball at 91 on the outside corner, 0-1. Fogouts tend to be native to Chatham, but not exclusively. We're lucky. At least for now, it doesn't look like the fog's getting in the way tonight. 0-1 to Gaffney. He takes it low. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Gaffney is the reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Broke out and lit it up at Purdue this past season, but has entered the transfer portal and is actively searching for his next school. Today he's 1 for 3 against Chatham. 1-1 pitch. Gaffney dribbles it down the third baseline. First play for Johnson. Steps on the bag at third. Rightful throw as well past the first baseman Cantwell. It bounces off the fencing down the right field line. Cantwell picks it up. His throw sails home, and diving in to score is Zion Rose. All the way around from first on 2 errant throws from Chatham. Commodores get on the board one more time at 6-2. Well, that play had a little bit of everything. Johnston got the ground ball behind third. He stepped on the bag, tried to throw it across to first for the double play. It was not close. And then Cantwell had a prime opportunity to try and cut down Zion Rose heading towards home, and he sailed it almost over Ike Irish, who had to leap up to grab it.
Couple bad throws there.
Headache of a play.
Cantwell gets him at the plate. Gets Rose at the plate with a good throw.
Key caveat there. 6-2, Falmouth has gotten back within another run in the 7th. Swing and a miss on the first pitch from Donovan LaSalle. Gaffney ended up making it all the way to second as the throw was wide of first. So it goes down as a fielder's choice, and then an error on Jet Johnston on his first Chatham Anglers play. It's the third error tonight for the A's. 0-1 to LaSalle. He swings and lines it into center field, falling for a base hit. Over and grabs it, comes up throwing. Gaffney headed home, throw to the plate, on the money, in time he's out. A skip hop dart from Austin O'Verne in center field is perfectly placed to get the out at home. So Falmouth gets 1 run on a pair of hits, but Austin O'Verne ensures that a second one does not come in to score. He's done it all tonight with 5 RBIs and now an outfield assist. We'll send it over to Pete Burns, the PA announcer now, for the 7th inning stretch.
Caden, Elise, Luca, Charlie, Greer. Are you ready? Moira, did I say your name correctly? Are you ready?
Yes.
A 1, a 2, a 3.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the Anglers. And it's a shame. Well, it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Yay! Let's hear it for Brooks.
Excellent
Moira
singing as
top,
always,
baby.
and that sends us into a break as we head to the bottom of the 7th. 6-2 your score. Chatham leads it here at Veterans Field. Stick with us. You're listening to Chatham A's Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Baseball Network and the A's. Sports Radio play-by-play. Chatham A's on the air. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd.
We welcome you back for the bottom of the 7th here at Veterans Field. First pitch from Wood to Luke Cantwell is outside. It's a ball and no strikes. Gage Wood stays on the hill after working a scoreless 6th inning. The Arkansas right-hander stares at the left-handed bat of Cantwell. Swing and a miss at the 1-0. It's a ball and a strike. Fastball at 91 powered past the bat of Cantwell, who today is 1 for 3. He's got a single, a run scored, and 2 strikeouts. 1-1. Swing and a miss again. Another fastball past the bat of Cantwell. It's 1-2. A's lead 6-2. 9 hits for each side, but Chatham 4 in front in the bottom of the 7th. Wood delivers. Cantwell shoots it foul. Over the Chatham dugout. Off the netting. It's a ball and 2 strikes still. Cantwell, then Lodice, then Landon Stripling. 2 lefties and a righty against the right-hander Gage Wood. Wood fiddles in his glove, searches for his side. Shakes, now nods. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Elevated the fastball, and that gets Cantwell down on strikes for the 3rd time. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting for Chatham, the shortstop from Georgia Tech, number 24, Kyle Lodice.
Kyle Lodice steps up now. He's 1 for 3 with a single, a run scored. He's also grounded out and struck out. Wood from the windup delivers. Lodice takes outside. Andrew, we started to talk yesterday about Kyle Lodice's cousin Alex, who played at Florida State, before he rudely interrupted you with a solo home run.
I know.
How dare he? 1-0. Off the outside corner. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
If you're going to do it, that's the way.
Could have waited a couple pitches to let you get the story in.
Sure.
His cousin plays for Florida State. 2-0. On the outside corner with a breaking ball. 2-1. Got a chance to play in Omaha. And we only found this out because someone asked him around the shell. 2-1 pitch. Lodice takes high. 3 balls and a strike. Hey, are you the only Lodice playing in college baseball? Is there someone else? And he said, yeah, my cousin Alex plays for Florida State. 3-1 pitch. A check swing foul back to the screen on a fastball that would have been ball 4. Lodice almost barks at himself as he exits the right-handed batter's box. Kyle and Alex, the 2 Lodices playing at the college level. Pretty cool. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wood climbs back in the count, and he takes advantage of the check swing foul. Back-to-back strikeouts start the 7th.
I mentioned that with Kyle transferring to Georgia Tech next year, the Lodice cousins will face off when Florida State visits Georgia Tech, but they've played against each other before.
First pitch is on the outside corner to Landon Stripling, 0-1. Chatham leads 6-2 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Last summer, Kyle was playing for the Vermont Lake Monsters in the Futures League.
Swing and a foul back to the screen from Stripling, 0-2.
Actually managed by a former Chatham, Matt Fincher.
Okay.
And he faced off against the New Britain Bees and his cousin Alex Lodice.
Excellent names. And Lodice puts the cherry on top. Wood searching for a third strikeout. Here's his 0-2. Down in the dirt, ball 1. We've got one defensive replacement for you. Jimmy Nadai from Stanford has entered in as the third baseman. He takes over for Dylan Carey, who's due up to lead off next inning.
Kyle said he talks to Alex daily.
1-2. Fouled away. Still a ball and 2 strikes. So I'm sure the phone call was pretty happy yesterday after the home run.
I'm sure it was, and it came after a couple home runs in Omaha for his cousin Alex with the Seminoles. He said they have similar swings, so they share a lot of notes. They used to play together over the summers. Alex moved from New Jersey down to Florida. Kyle in Georgia, about an hour and a half apart.
They couldn't be Lake Monsters teammates?
I guess not. Not everybody gets to play for the Lake Monsters.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It kicks off the catcher Rose, who pounces on it on the infield grass and throws Stripling out at first. Gage Wood goes 1-2-3 with 3 consecutive strikeouts of Anglers batters in the 7th. That gets us through 7 full innings. I'll hand it back over to Andrew Selover in the top of the 8th inning, with Chatham leading at 6-2. 9 hits for each side, as Chatham has scored in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, but none since. 2 runs for Falmouth have come in the 6th and 7th. 2 more innings for the Commodores to try and grab their 2nd win of the year. They'll need to score 4 to try and tie it up on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's, Chatham on TRC.
Top of the 8th here from Veterans Field. Chatham in front of Falmouth, 6-2. Game 7 of the Cape League season. I'm Andrew Selover alongside Jack Smith. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We start the top of the 8th. Colin Ritchie out of Durant, Oklahoma. Yet to record his first hit. And he takes in the dirt 2-0. Plenty of changes here over the last couple innings for the Commodores, who trail at 6-2. Final line on the night for Tanner Franklin. 2 innings pitched. The pitch is hammered out towards left center field. Long run back for over, and he's at the track. He's shy of the fence, and he's under it for the grab. Well, the pinch hitter Colin Ritchie hit it about as far as he could before exiting the ballpark, and that turns into a loud first out here in the inning.
Number 20, Jimmy
Now
Nadai.
it brings up Jimmy Nadai, the defensive replacement from the last half inning. He came into the game at third base for Dylan Carey. So Tanner Franklin goes 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, gives up 2 runs, both unearned, on a walk and 3 strikeouts. Our home plate umpire, Joe Carrico, a quick pause so he could write things into his notebook. Has to write all these changes down. Now he gives the right-hand point out to Armstrong. First offering. Swing and a miss. 75, just slowly rolling through the zone. Nadai was way out in front of it. Armstrong comes from the 3/4 arm slot. His 0-1. In there at the top of the zone, 0-2. Doesn't have a ton of velocity. Uses a lot of movement. His first outing came against YD, game 2 of the year. 2-1 loss for the A's. He gave up 1 of those 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 walks in 2/3 of an inning. Got the loss that night. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Blew 90 right by him. 2 up, 2 down for John Armstrong to start the top of the 8th.
He'll lull you to sleep with 75, and then even from a sidearm delivery, surprise you with 90.
10th strikeout of the night by a Chatham pitcher. Now he faces another lefty, Christian Martin, first offering. In there, strike 1. Martin has the lone RBI for Falmouth. Run batted in on a single in the 6th. Armstrong out of the stretch, 0-1. Just missed outside, 1-1. Chatham 6, Falmouth 2. Top of the 8th. He sets down the Falmouth bottom of the order in order. And we head to the bottom half. Chatham still leading it 6-2. No runs, no hits, no errors. No men left on base for the Doors. Chatham sends 9-1-2 to the plate when we return to Veterans Field.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. It started out with a kiss. How did it end up like this? It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss. Now I'm falling asleep and she's calling a cab while he's having a smoke and she's taking a drag. Now they're going to bed and my stomach is sick and it's all in my head. But
Headed to the bottom half of the 8th, a 4-run advantage for the Anglers. Gage Wood on the mound still for Falmouth. He pitches, and Will Gasparino lays down a bunt, third base side, Nat into field, and he throws it way away from first base. Gasparino turns and chugs to second, where he slides in safe with a late tag applied.
Now batting for the Anglers.
That's why you put the ball in play.
USC, number 9, Austin.
That's why the A's practiced bunting yesterday.
You will take it.
Gasparino on the A's, 2 on the Commodores. 9 hits aside, but Chatham leads at 6-2. Overn, a big reason why, the 1-0. He takes a bender just high, 2-0. Austin Overn had a 3-run home run in the second inning. That put the A's up 3-0. Then he drove in 2 on a double in the third inning, and that made it 5-0. 2-0. Cut and a miss. Right by the fastball at 92. So 5 of the game's 8 runs and 5 of Chatham's 6 runs driven in courtesy of the man at the plate out of Southern California. Austin Overn awaits the 2-1 pitch, and he lifts it foul back into the screen. 2-2. Deep breath. Overn stares down his wood bat, steps back in, waves it a couple times through the zone. Here's the pitch. And he belts it into center field, but it stays on a line for LaSalle, who squeezes it for out number 1 in the bottom of the 8th.
Even the outs have been loud for Austin Overn today.
Couple fly outs out there to center field. Ground out and a double and a home run. Brings up Jaden Davis, 1 for 4. Wood from the stretch. Curveball. Oh, yeah, in there. On the outside corner. Big breaker. And another throw from Zion Rose gets away from the pitcher. 0-1 the count to Davis as Wood gets a new baseball.
This is my favorite underlying storyline today.
Not John Schiffner returning to Veterans Field?
That's a big one. This is more underlying.
Oh, okay. That one's not underlying, I guess. You interviewed him pregame.
Did.
0-1. Fastball cut and a miss. 0-2. If you haven't had a chance to see that interview, you can go check it out on our social media at Chatham Anglers. Jack talked with Sheets and John Schiffner. Schiffner, the longtime Chatham A's field manager for 25 years. Jersey retired here at Veterans Field in his first year as an assistant with Falmouth. 0-2. Foot to the screen. We'll do it again.
It was really clear through talking with Schiffner. He just missed the Cape Cod Baseball League and wanted to come back in any capacity that he could. And he's offered a lot of advice to Sheets, who's in his first year of what I'm sure he hopes will be 25 years as Chatham's manager.
Davis awaits another 0-2. And he takes it in the dirt. Gasparino thought about taking off for third, but he stays put. Schiff was, of course, around. He lives on Cape Cod, and he worked in the front office last summer, but back into the coaching world after he stepped away back in 2017 after 25 years on the top step of that third base dugout here at Veterans Field. 1-2, runner goes, it's high, throw down to third is late. Stolen base for Will Gasparino. A's have been a little more active tonight on the base paths. When Sheets came into Chatham, he was preaching aggressiveness at all times. And then the Anglers got a couple thrown out early on as the infield comes in. 2-2, line back. We'll do it again.
It's been an ebb and flow, he's told me. He's trying to figure out how to handle this league compared to the way they play at Georgia Gwinnett.
Infield in at all 4 positions. 2-2 again. And that one is sliced down the right field line, tailing towards foul territory, and it is out of the reach of Matt Bucciero in foul ground. Long battle here from Gage Wood and Jaden Davis.
Sheets knows that at Georgia Gwinnett things come a little easier sometimes. He said they've got a formula there for how they score runs that hasn't directly applied to being on the Cape, considering the competition level, the pitchers, the catchers, and so he's still trying to figure it out. He's got a lot less games under his belt than Schiffner.
SEC battle, pitcher and batter, 2-2. Is lined on the ground first, diving stop by Gaffney. He takes it to the bag, and Gasparino has to stay put at third base on a 3 unassisted putout of Jaden Davis.
Now batting for the Anglers, the catcher
Arkansas
for the
pitcher
number 4,
wins the battle over the
Irish.
Vanderbilt second baseman, and that is why you bring the infield in. Runner on third now, 2 outs for Ike Irish, who also hits from the left side. The righty Wood winds and fires home. Fastball, missed the outside black, 1-0. A's trying to tack on one more to a 6-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th. 1-0. Bounces in, chest stop from Rose. 2-0 the count. Ike Irish tonight is 2 for 4. Started his evening with 2 singles in the first and the second. Stranded at second base in the first. And then he was gunned out at the plate in the second inning. 2 ground outs since then. 2-0. Irish takes outside. 3-0.
It is a 4-run lead for Chatham, but the A's have gone scoreless in the last 3 innings, so showing that they're able to put this run in from third would be big for this offense.
Green light for Irish, we'll see. 3-0. No, he takes all the way for strike 1.
With a 4-run lead, you'd like insurance, but you don't necessarily need it desperately. But more just to show that you can do it would be big for the A's.
Wood nods no to the first 2 he sees. Now he's ready. And the 3-1. Inside, just over the play. Both teams back in action tomorrow evening. Chatham in front 6-2 tonight in the 8th. Trying to go to 4-3 to start the year. Throw over to first. Oof, nearly got away. Gaffney had to stab it before it could go into right field. Tomorrow, Chatham is at Cotuit, a 5 o'clock first pitch. 0-1. That one's golf deep down the left field line, curling towards the corner, and it is gone! Just snuck it over the left field fence. 3-run blast for John Bay, who points out to the dog pound as he rounds third base with a round tripper. 9-2 Anglers in the bottom of the 8th.
That home run is brought to you by John Bay.
Second home run for John Bay of the summer. He's the first Angler to 2. This one looked a little bit different. He powered his first one well over the center field wall, and this one he just managed to put over the fence.
Brings home Ike Irish from first, Will Gasparino from third. First pitch to Jet Johnston is low, ball 1.
Chatham hadn't had a 3-run or 4-run home run going into tonight, and today they've got 2 3-run blasts.
1-0. Scooch Johnston off the plate from the right side. 2-0. Johnston came in as a defensive replacement for Iva Arquette earlier tonight at third. 2-0 to the righty. Huge cut and a miss. Not getting cheated with that swing. Gasparino's run will be unearned as he reached on an error. 2-1. In there, strike 2. Been a handful of unearned runs. 2 on either side tonight. 5 errors across the board, 3 for Chatham, 2 for Falmouth. Nobody on, 2 outs, 3 runs are in. 2-2 the count to Johnston as Wood comes home. Fastball taken, strike 3. Backwards K sends Johnston down in his Anglers debut, but not before John Bay launches the 2nd home run of the night for Chatham. And again, it's a 3-run blast, this time just over the fence down the left field line. The Anglers go for 3 on just 1 hit, 1 error in the field, and nobody left on base. Headed to the top of the 9th, Chatham comfortably in front, 9-2. For Falmouth, it'll be 8-9-1 due up, as Chatham goes back to John Armstrong to try and seal the deal and move to 4-3 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love comes tumbling down. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour, when there's no one else around. I'm gonna take you, girl, and hold you, and do all the things I told you in the midnight hour. Yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. One more thing I just want to say right here. I'm gonna wait till the stars come out and see that twinkle in your eyes. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love begins to shine. You're the only girl I know that really loves me so.
Three outs to get for Chatham as we head to the top of the 9th at Veterans Field. John Armstrong back on the bump for his 2nd inning of work, and he starts it against the designated hitter Carson Brown, who is 0 for 3 tonight. Armstrong faced just 3 batters in the 8th, set them all down. His first pitch slides low for ball 1. Bowen grounded out in the 3rd and the 4th. He struck out swinging in the 6th, and he takes again low and away, 2-0 the count. Long look in for Armstrong. Now he's ready. 2-0 pitch. Downstairs, 3-0. Still just a light fog hovering over Veterans Field. Hasn't had much of an impact except for maybe a little mid-inning scare. 3-0 on the inside corner, and that brings Bowen back to the plate as he was a good 10 steps down the first base line, took off and thought it was ball 4. It's been a foggy last 2 days, but not enough to stop baseball here at Veterans Field. 3-1. That time it is ball 4. Missed low, a 5-pitch walk to start the 9th.
The right fielder, number 17, Matt Bucciero.
Yesterday, pregame, there was plenty of fog at Veterans Field. It went away, the rain came, but we played through it, and Brewster beat Chatham 7-4. Tonight, Chatham in front 9-2 over Falmouth. Top of the 9th at Veterans Field. First pitch, tipped foul at the plate by Matt Bucciero, a defensive replacement back in the 6th inning for Tab Tracy. Second AB for Bucciero, who struck out looking back in the 7th.
Andrew, we've said it basically all summer. The A's win when they don't walk people. And today, that walk here in the 9th inning is just the 2nd of the day for the Anglers.
Game started by Drake George. He was magnificent. 5 innings pitched by the righty out of Lewis Clark State college. Gave up 0 runs on 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. 0-1. Just missed the outside corner as it saucered over the plate, but just rode into the left-hand batter's box. 1-1 the count. Armstrong home, swing and a miss. Healthy cut at 88, 1-2 the count. Some 9th inning energy from the fans here at Veterans Field. 1,053 came to see this one. Not all of them are left. 1-2, low and away, 2-2. Nobody out, 1 on in the top of the 9th. Armstrong 2-2 pitch home. That one's low and away. 3-2 the count. Last thing you want to do is start walking guys up by 7 in the 9th. Armstrong retoes the rubber. He peeks over at first. Now he comes home. Bouncer up the middle at short. Lodis has it. Flip to second, 1. Over to first. Not in time. Bang, bang play, and Bucciero beat out the double play. Instead, it's just a fielder's choice, and there was 1 out here in the 9th.
Well, the chopper just went a little bit too high, and it just didn't look like Chatham had enough time to turn to. It was hit so softly and on such a big bounce that it allowed Bucciero to run it out.
Flips the order over for Jackson Willits. He's 2 for 4 today with 2 singles. First offering, the lefty takes, ball 1. A's out hitting the doors 10-9 and leading where it matters 9-2. Bucciero held on at first. The pitch, cut and a miss. Willits waves right through that 89-mile-per-hour fastball. 1-1. Falmouth in danger of dropping to 1-6 through the first week. 1-1. Outside. 2-1. That would tie Orleans for the worst record on the Cape. And those 2 teams would be the odd ones looking out a week in terms of playoff positions. 2-1 pitch is in there. Strike 2. Armstrong stares down to his right hand. He grips the baseball on a wet, foggy night. Comes set at the belly and comes home. Up and in, ball 3. 25 pitches and 4 outs into the outing for John Armstrong. And he's locked in a 3-2 count to Jackson Willits with 1 out in the 9th. He's up by 7. The pitch is lined the other way, dropping quickly, and it falls into left field in front of John Bay. 2 on and 1 out to start the 9th for Falmouth.
This is why the home run from John Bay was so important, because even minor hiccups like this can leave Chatham feeling pretty secure in the lead in the 9th inning.
And it gives Eric Beatty plenty of comfortability in that third base dugout. He goes to the walkie-talkie. Sends a few words down to the bullpen. While he does that, Ike Irish trots out from behind the plate for a quick 2-man combo on the mound.
Back to both Falmouth and Orleans. Their performance so far this year is a perfect example of how things are always changing, not only on the Cape League, but across summer ball in general. Those teams enjoyed a lot of success last year, and here they are struggling in 2024.
Orleans in particular. Falmouth was in the middle of the West Division. First round exit from the playoffs, but Orleans rode all the way to the Cape League Championship after finishing 2nd in the East in the regular season. No offense to speak of at Eldridge Park. First pitch to Rose. Just missed upstairs, ball 1. I mean, Orleans came into the night hitting under 200 as a team. A couple Falmouth fans getting rowdy. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Not a whole lot to cheer for if you're a Falmouth fan tonight.
I believe that's the Falmouth media team.
Okay. Chatham 9, Falmouth 2 in the ninth. 1-1. Check swing, bouncer back to the mound. Armstrong has it. He pumps to second and throws to first to get the out. If he was going to go to second, he had to wait a split second for either Lodice or Davis to cover the bag. So instead, he just took the out at first.
The first baseman, number 16, Luke Gaffney.
Commodores down to their final out here in the ninth. Matt Bucciero over to third. Jackson Willits over to second. Drake George in line for his first win on Cape Cod. Colby Guy in line for the loss tonight after starting and giving up 5 runs. First pitch to Gaffney. Wave and a miss. 76 and a slider fooled him. 0-1. Infield playing back. Outfield straight away for Chatham. He's now 2 strikes away from a 4th win in 7 games. 0-1. Rides outside. 1-1. Gaffney tonight, first baseman out of Purdue in the transfer portal. 1 for 4 with a single and a strikeout. 1-1. He dribbles it off his foot and it rolls right along the chalk all the way to third base. Jet Johnston scoops it up, lobs it back to Armstrong, and the A's are 1 strike away from victory. Chatham 9, Falmouth 2. 2 outs, 2 on, and a 1-2 count here at a foggy Veterans Field. One brave Chatham fan is riling up the crowd. Armstrong gets the baseball back. He stares in at Gaffney. Comes set at his shoulder, drops it down to the belt, and pitches. Swing and a miss, tipped it into the mitt. Chatham winners over Falmouth at Veterans Field, 9-2.
Thank you for coming out to tonight's game.
Anglers used 2 3-run home runs to power them to a 4th victory out of 7 games played on the season, and Falmouth drops to 1-6 through the first week.
Andrew, I think all things told, this was the best complete performance that we've seen on both sides of the ball for Chatham.
Anglers had plenty of offense, 10 hits and 9 runs. You could point to 3 errors up on the scoreboard as a small blemish, but also the starting pitching from Drake George was phenomenal too.
He was excellent. He went 5 innings, did not allow a run, and after Evan Crest faltered a little bit yesterday, George picks him up and gets this starting rotation for the Anglers moving back in the right direction.
The Anglers Extra postgame show is next here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Make sure to stick around. Postgame highlights, postgame interview, the final tallies here from Veterans Field on a foggy night and a Chatham winning night under the lights in Chatham, Massachusetts. Again, the Anglers win it 9-2 behind 10 hits offensively and double-digit strikeouts on the mound. Chatham moves to 4-3 and Falmouth to 1-6. Post-game show's next.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC.
When the lights go down in the city,
Anglers Extra.
The Anglers Extra postgame show is here and now on a foggy night in Chatham. I'm Andrew Selover up in the booth with you. The Anglers beat the Falmouth Commodores on John Schiffner's return back to Veterans Field as an assistant in his first year with Falmouth. Chatham 9, Falmouth 2 here at Veterans Field. The Anglers move to 4-3 with the win. Falmouth goes to 1-6 with the loss. Your final line totals tonight. Chatham goes for 9 runs on 10 hits, 3 errors, and 8 men left on base. Falmouth goes for 2 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors, and 10 left on base. The winning pitcher tonight for the Anglers is Drake George. The losing pitcher is Colby Guy for Falmouth. Start time tonight at 7:03. The game finished at 9:53. That's a 2-hour and 50-minute contest. 1,053 fans were here to see it. Chatham goes to tied for second in the East Division with Harwich at 4-3. YD leads the East Division at 5-2. Let's get to your postgame highlights here on the Anglers Extra postgame show, and this one started off in a hurry. Chatham got the bases loaded in the bottom of the first, but left them loaded, and then in the second inning, 2 of the first 3 reached for the A's on a walk and a hit batter, and that flipped the lineup back over to Austin Overn, who put a dent in a baseball his second time to the plate tonight. He works out of the stretch. The righty comes home, and it's cranked deep the other way to left. Long run back for Jason Jones. He watches it drift out of the park. Oppo Taco, Austin Overn. 3-0 Chatham, bottom of the second. So Austin Overn led off the game with a home run, and we'll get back to those highlights in just a minute. But first we'll send it down to the field with Jack Smith for the postgame interview.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm joined with a starting pitcher today, Drake George from Lewis Clark State College. Drake, your first start today with the Anglers. How'd you feel out there?
I felt amazing. Had some good arm care days before, so I came out ready to go. I knew about 4 days prior before my start, so I had some good food and good stuff, and came out and threw.
It was your second appearance, but your first start. Where's the difference for you?
So I've only come out of the pen a few times, so that was unique and fun to do. Starting is what I usually do, but yeah, it was. I know I have to kind of save my bullets when I come in for a start. Usually I save it a little bit more. When I come out for just a 1 or 2 innings, I can kind of let it eat a little bit more. But yeah, that's basically the difference is preserving certain pitches or preserving velo earlier in the game.
At what point through your start today did you know that you had your stuff and could produce a good start?
I would say probably the second inning when I came out. I could throw my fastball wherever I wanted it, same with my off speeds. And I knew that even if I gave up a little hit or something, my defense had my back. So,
we talked on the broadcast about Idaho from Lewis Clark State College, not Lewis and Clark State College, which is in your home state, but does not have a baseball program. What do you like about Idaho?
I'm a big outdoors person, so I like hunting, I like fishing. Right where my college is in Lewiston, Idaho, it's right on 2 rivers. So it's on the Snake River, it's on the Clearwater River. So lots of fishing whenever I want to go fishing, and the hunting up there is also very great. We got mule deer, we got whitetail. If you're lucky enough, you can draw a moose tag. But yeah, usually in the off time, not baseball wise, I'm out there in the outdoors somewhere. So that's what I love about Idaho.
Are you planning to go fishing on the Cape?
Yeah, I think some of the teammates and I are thinking about going to Cape or fishing in the Cape, somewhere called Goose Pond, I think it's called. Yeah, they got bass and walleye and like a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I think we're gonna try it out.
A lot of your fellow pitchers like to make noise from the bullpen in the dog pound. What does that mean to you when you're on the hill?
I think it's just encouragement. I think when you're doing good, obviously the dog pound, if you want to call it that. they're just letting you know that they have confidence in you and that you're doing good and holding up standards to the program and yourself. So.
Through the first 7 games, you guys have flip-flopped between wins and losses. What will it take for this team to build on the win today and get another win tomorrow?
I think if we just stay on it, if we just stay on it as an entire group, I think that we'll start getting more wins in the win column. And just don't give up. I mean, we're all Bulldogs. We're out here to showcase our stuff, but at the same time, we're here to win. So as long as we just keep doing what we're doing, I think that we're going to have more wins here in the win column.
He's Drake George, today's winning pitcher, as Chatham takes down the visiting Falmouth Commodores by a score of 9-2. Drake, thank you for the time.
Thank you, sir.
That'll do it for us here on the postgame interview. I'll send it back to Andrew Selover as the Anglers Extra postgame show continues.
All right, Jack, down with the starting pitcher and the winning pitcher tonight, Drake George. We thank him for his time as he went 5 innings of scoreless baseball. And we'll go back to getting to the highlights tonight. We already played one for you, but we'll play it again because it was so good. Chatham started off this game on the front foot. They really got to Colby Guy, the starter for Falmouth. Tagged him for 2 hits in the first, loaded the bases with 1 out, and then 2 guys struck out. But then in the second inning, 2 of the first 3 reached, and Austin Overn put a charge into a baseball. He works out of the stretch. The righty comes home, and it's cranked deep the other way to left. Long run back for Jason Jones. He watches it drift out of the park. Oppo Taco. Austin Overn. 3-0 Chatham. Bottom of the second. So Austin Overn put the Anglers in front. That would not be the last time you would hear from Austin Overn this game, because the next inning, Chatham already in front 3-0, got the first 3 of the first 4 guys on the base paths. A single from Luke Cantwell, a single from Kyle Lodise, a walk from Landon Stripling. Again, the second time in 3 innings, the bases loaded for Chatham, and with 2 outs, again, Austin Overn strided up to the plate. Right on left. First off runners through the first 3, but in the 4th, he ran into some trouble. Luke Gaffney led off the inning with a single. Then he walked Donovan LaSalle. Finally, Jason Jones singled, and the bases were juiced. Nobody out. Yes, Chatham leading 5-0, but George in some trouble for the first time tonight. That's when he drew a strikeout of Dylan Carey. He got a ground out that came home for the force out, and with 2 outs, George was just 1 out away from leaving them loaded after they were loaded with nobody out.
0-1. Bowen grounds it towards third. Arquette gives ground. He backs up. The third baseman throws long to first. Cantwell keeps his foot on the bag, and that ends the inning. It was bases loaded and nobody out for Falmouth, but George escapes the Houdini magic trick. He gets
So Drake George kept it scoreless for the Commodores on the run sheet after that scoreless 4th inning. And then in the bottom half, the Anglers tacked on 1 more. John Bay singled. He stole second. He reached third on a ground out and came home on a pass ball. That made it 6-0 in favor of the Anglers. Falmouth really struggled against George. He went 5 innings of scoreless baseball. He came out after the 5th. In line for the win. Tanner Franklin came into the game. He gave up a single, then picked off Donovan LaSalle, and then Jason Jones reached on an error. A strikeout of Dylan Carey brought Christian Martin up to the plate, and Falmouth searching for its first run of the game still.
Off the inside corner, gets to the backstop. Here comes Bay. He scores standing up. And Chatham. Franklin delivers. Martin bounces it back up the middle into center field. It's a base hit. Jason Jones can trot home to score. He touches home to give Falmouth its first run of the day. 6-1 Chatham in the 6th.
So Falmouth finally struck after really struggling against the starter, Drake George. They got to the reliever, Tanner Franklin, for a run there in the 6th. The Commodores would tack on 1 more in the 7th inning, another unearned run courtesy of Zion Rose. So Franklin gave up 2 unearned through his 2 innings of work, and it was 6-2 Chatham. In the bottom of the 8th, the Anglers were searching for some insurance. After an error allowed Will Gasparino to reach, 2 men were set down. Ike Irish walked, so with 2 on and 2 outs, that's when John Bay strode to the plate trying to tack on for the Anglers. First pitch, 0-1. That one's golfed deep down the left field line, curling towards the corner, and it is gone! Just snuck it over the left field fence. 3-run blast for John Bay, who points out to the dog pound as he rounds third base with a round tripper. 9-2 Anglers in the bottom of the 8th. Plenty of breathing room for Chatham headed to the top of the 9th when John Armstrong, who pitched a scoreless 8th inning, would return out to the bump. Chatham in front 9-2, courtesy of the second home run of the summer from John Bay out of Austin P. The first two did reach to start the 9th, a walk and then a fielder's choice off of Matt Pucciero and then a single from Jackson Willett. So despite a 7-run lead, things weren't super comfortable for Armstrong. A mound visit, he stayed in the game. He got a ground out from Zion Rose and then faced Luke Gaffney trying to send Chatham to victory. Armstrong gets the baseball back. He stares in at Gaffney. Comes set at his shoulder, drops it down to the belt, and pitches. Swing and a miss, tipped it into the mitt. Chatham winners over Falmouth at Veterans Field, 9-2.
Thank you for coming out to tonight's game.
So that's how it went down here at Veterans Field tonight. Again, your final line totals. Chatham goes for 9 runs in victory with 10 hits and 3 errors in the field. 8 men left on base for the A's. Falmouth 2 runs, also on 10 hits, 2 errors in the field from the Commodores, and 10 left on base. Chatham starter Drake George tossed 5 scoreless. He gets the win tonight, his first of the summer. The loser, Colby Guy, the starter for the Commodores, gave up 5 earned through 2 1/3. He gets his second loss of the summer. 1,053 people were here to see it with a start time of 7:03. Final pitch thrown at 9:53 for a total game time of 2 hours and 50 minutes. Back in action tomorrow night. Chatham visits Cotuit. That's a 5 o'clock first pitch on the road for the Anglers, searching for their first win streak of the summer. And for the Falmouth Commodores, they return home a 6 o'clock first pitch against the Harwich Mariners. Chatham tonight goes to 4-3 with the victory. Falmouth falls to 1-6 to start their summer. We thank you for joining us on a foggy evening at Veterans Field. We graciously appreciate you taking the time to watch Chatham A's baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Again, Chatham 9-2 winners over Falmouth here at Veterans Field. Jack and I will talk to you tomorrow afternoon from Cotuit. But for now, signing off, I'm Andrew Selover. Chatham 9-2 winners on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham Anglers Baseball 2024 has been brought to you by Chatham Bars Inn, Chatham Clothing Bar, Touchstone Closing, Mahi Gold, Chatham Hardware, Sweet Tomatoes Pizza, the Red Nun Bar and Grill, Short and Sweet Ice Cream, Cape Cod 5, and by the Chatham A's.
Chatham A's Baseball, Sports Radio, play-by-play, summertime on Cape Cod.
This has been an exclusive presentation of Chatham A's Baseball on TRZ Team Line.
Chatham on TRZ.